All right, welcome to this year's Scott Fishbowl 12 Multiple Sclerosis Special presented by Fantasy Six Pack. My name's obviously Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me helping out this year is our normal producer for the Fantasy Six Pack Hour, Mike LaPlante. What's going on, man?
Oh, just hanging out here to have a fun time with you, raising money for MS, man. I know this is a near and dear cause to you. So anything, near and dear to you, I want to get behind and give 100% support.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that immensely. Yeah, so obviously the big news in the fantasy football world today is the start of the Scott Fishbowl. And yeah, so we had the pot-a-thon over the weekend. They raised a ton of money for Fantasy Cares.
I know you were on that.
Last I looked, man, they were easily over 40 grand. It's amazing. Just what they are able to accomplish with that. It's just unbelievable what they're able to do there. But yeah, obviously tonight we are here to kind of piggyback on them, I guess. It's a little bit of, I'm not gonna lie, kind of stole their idea. It's
all for a good cause.
Everybody's all for it, right? We're all here to help raise money. This one is going to be to raise money for multiple sclerosis. If you've followed my Twitter, followed us on Facebook, or wherever you're following us, you know that it's unfortunately something I was diagnosed with in 2013. In the beginning, I was not so great with it. I had a lot of relapses, so it's called relapses. It's when you have like the side effects. You've got different things that happen to your body because of the multiple sclerosis. So fortunately, I was able to find some medicine a couple years after I had it that has really kind of tempered those. Knock on wood, I haven't had any relapses in multiple years, so hopefully the medicine keeps doing what it's doing. But I know unfortunately not everybody is as fortunate, so that's what we're here for. And I mean, ultimately, like, I want this to go away, like, I'm gonna be a little selfish here. I don't want to have to live with this. I know it's probably gonna bite me in the ass eventually, and it's just nothing I really want to be able to. Nothing I really want to have to deal with when the time comes for that. So, yeah, we're here to raise money. So the link is there at the bottom. FantasySixPack.net/donate. Anything you can throw away, $1, doesn't matter, guys. We are happy to take
I wish there was like a collection jar for loose change. I know everybody's got loose change around. Just throw it in there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just
anything.
Anything you can throw our way. I think currently we are up over. We just got another one actually, so we are up at $725. Last year we hit over $1,500, so I'm hoping to beat that this year.
I was ecstatic when we got to 1,500 last year too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I had no idea we were gonna get there. I think the first year I hit like 600 and was like, oh, cool, and then we almost tripled it. So pretty unbelievable. Definitely appreciate all the support, but asking for it again this year, just like most charities do. So let's get to some fun stuff though, man. So Scott Fish, I know you're in it this year, right?
Yep.
What division are you in?
This year, they decided, to make it areas, and they wanted to kind of, group the fantasy community together and get everybody in their local areas together. So there's no Lake Geneva, Wisconsin one, but you know what? There's a Green Bay, Wisconsin one, and that's the division I'm in.
That makes sense. What pick do you have, and where are you guys at in your draft, and kind of what's going on with that so far?
It's actually going pretty fast this year compared to last year. Last year was a little bit slower, but this year I stuck with it. Went with the 106 again. I like being safe with the third round reversal. Although I've been seeing, the statistics point towards you really want to go towards the back end. The 111, 112.
Right.
Who was it? Was it Preston that came up with those statistics?
Yeah, I don't know, but with the third round reversal, that makes a huge difference, and I
Huge with
think a
those
lot
late.
of people do that, and some people just go, you know what, screw it, I want the best player, and they go after Josh Allen or Herbert,
Yep.
or whoever it is, right? So you're kind of right in the middle, but
Yep, right in
so
the middle, as safe as can
who
be.
have you grabbed so far?
Well, just as I thought, QBs have been flying off the shelves like no other. For the first 5 picks, the 101 for me was JT. That actually surprised me a little bit. But 4 straight picks after that, we had Allen, Herbert, Mahomes, and then Lamar Jackson. So it didn't leave me much options when it came to the quarterbacks other than Kyler Murray was left. Or I could, push for the wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. But with QBs going as fast as they went, I went Kyler Murray with the first pick. Second round came around, and I should have stuck with my gut and went with the second QB. If you're out there, go second QB early. If you want the star-studded cast, otherwise you will be stuck with the Jared Goff. But I went Eckler with the 207.
It's hard to pass up, man. He went first round for me.
Just to go for the balance, and then we actually got to the third round, where I got sniped on getting Joe Mixon. He fell all the way to the third round, and I was like, gimme. But somebody was smart. I got a good and smart league in the Green Bay division. A lot of analysts. They're not letting me get any value, so I had to, in my opinion, I had to reach a little bit. But I went and got Aaron Jones with the 307. I knew he was going to be the number 1 target for Aaron Rodgers this year. It's his production. I think as long as he can stay healthy, is going to be off the charts. But Joe, enough about me. What division are you in?
So I'm in the local Silver Spring, Maryland division, which is literally 5 minutes down the street from me. And I've got the 10 pick. So I wanted, this is the exact same pick I had last year. I did really well with it until the playoffs hit, and my team, like half of it got COVID. So that wasn't great, but hopefully better luck for the playoffs this year. Started off tight end just like I did last year with Waller, but this year I got Kelsey. A ton of quarterbacks went, but took Kelsey. I could have taken Dak, the Brady's, the Jalen Hurts, whatever. But Jalen Hurts almost came back to me, man. I was like, he didn't. Went right before me.
Dream.
Matthew Stafford was my pick. I'm going for that offense that's just going to be amazing again. Maybe not as great as last year, but it's going to be hard to pass up on that. We have stalled at the 207, which is actually a guest of ours in about 30 minutes. He's going to make his pick live on air.
Nice.
So that will be fun. But with that being said, we do have at least one of our guests in the back here. So let's bring him on. Mr. Shane Hallam. What's going on, man?
Hey, guys. How's it going? Happy Scott Fishbowl Day.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
It should be a holiday.
I love the neon sign behind you, by the way, man. That is fantastic.
I don't have to read the Twitter handle that way,
right? I mean, you put it in your thing there anyway, but that's awesome.
Sweet, simple.
Yeah, Shane, thanks for coming on, man. So yeah, happy Scott Fishbowl Day. Twitter just goes crazy on this day,
Bonkers.
Obviously, but what division are you in, and what pick do you have?
Yeah, so I'm in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania division, my born, raised, living hometown. So, and I pick 106. We are in the 6th round. So I'm awaiting my 6th round pick in a couple.
Yeah,
picks
I thought
here.
I was going fast.
Like I've been in every Scott Fishbowl. I've been in all 12. I push. I'm a pusher of my division. You will draft, and you will draft quickly. And we're gonna get moving. I pre-draft every pick. I'm the only one. Usually I convince some others, but this year I'm the only one. But they're still moving, so I like it.
Now we have been slow and steady. We've actually got a guy who's on vacation in Europe right now. So as soon as he gets to his pick tonight, we're done.
I actually just came back from 2 weeks in Europe. And I actually DM'd Scott in December, like, when is this kicking off? Because I will not be in Europe. I will plan my vacation around the day this is starting. So that's
commitment.
Yeah.
I love it. But I feel like you're safe, just like me. You're a little bit afraid of that 3rd round reversal with that 106 pick.
Yeah, for me, it was really, I'm going to take a quarterback, right, in the first. And I felt like there were, 5 or 6 that I felt comfortable with. And so, how far down can I get and still feel comfortable with a quarterback? I surprisingly ended up with Patrick Mahomes, the 106. So
wow.
that was a pleasant surprise, but it was basically like all my prep and planning. Like I thought I was going to get Kyler Murray. That's kind of who I wanted. It's kind of who I was setting out for. I mean, Mahomes is there. You can't say no. And I was like, well, I plan to get Hollywood Brown in this round is out. Trying to
Christmas came in July.
So I'll take it, but it's definitely adjusted my strategy here as we go forward.
Oh, I'm sure you can get some late round stacks with Mahomes now. I'm sure Kyler Murray had those with Rondell Moore and Zach Ertz, but I like Mahomes stacks a little bit more than Kyler Murray. So I'm with you. You can't pass on Mahomes when he falls to you at the 106.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. We do have our second guest of this 15-minute spot here, and it is Matt Walsh from Trophy Smack. What's up, man?
What's going on, brother? How are you? How you guys doing?
What's going on?
Fantastic.
Mr. Trophy Smack, the guys who, all those awesome trophies. I've got 2 of them from my top 5 finishes.
Hell yes.
And I know you do the Scott Fish Bowl trophy, correct?
That's right. Yeah. Every year, I'm like, oh crap! I got to figure out how to get a fish bowl on top of a trophy that's not only watertight but also food grade safe, because I know people are going to be pouring beverages in this thing. So
absolutely,
that's right. That's right. So this year we're making like 10 of them at a time. So at our live draft, we're going to have like the next decade of fishbowl trophies all set up. So I don't have to every year like, oh crap, I gotta figure this out again.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So Tim, or sorry, Tim. I don't know why I said Tim. I'm looking at trophy and thinking Tim. I don't know. I'm looking at T and thinking Tim. Don't ask me. I swear. So you've got a live draft, right, Matt?
Yeah, we're doing the live draft, the LA live draft, which is this Saturday. So when I joined here and I'm hearing your guys's commentary on the draft, I'm like thinking to myself, oh crap, I haven't thought for 1 second about the actual details, because we've got 4 live drafts happening and we're allowing +1s. So we're going to have like 60, 70 people at our office.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, oh man, okay, parking, basic fundamentals, basic essentials, right? So it's going to be a freaking blast, man. I'm psyched. Hey, there's Tim.
Yeah, there's the Tim that I thought I was talking about earlier. There we go. He's on soon. But yes, he'll be chilling in the background until we're ready with him in his time slot. But yeah, man. So Matt, tell me how does you said you haven't really thought about much about it, but like you get to watch everybody draft for an entire week until it's your turn to pick, right?
I guess that's an advantage that exists that I'm not taking advantage of.
There is a Roto Grinders app that keeps track of all the ADP. I suggest reviewing that.
Yeah,
look, it's not. I mean, you're gonna get some strange things, I'm sure. Just like every single Scott Fishbowl draft I've ever been in has. But
yeah,
it at least does give you kind of an idea. Do you know what pick you have?
For sure. Yeah, every year I kind of go through that recalibration of the different scoring and what I should be looking at and how to use the platform. When you click draft, it doesn't take you to draft. But this year's is special because we got sleeper now, right?
Yeah, well, you guys do.
The live drafts,
the live drafts do. Most of the slow drafts are on my fantasy league still.
Got it. I didn't know that.
Which is another thing that you might not know about. You guys are forced to draft and start a kicker every week.
Yeah, that's the only downside with sleeper.
My fantasy league does not still. They
kicker. I remember reading something about that one discrepancy, but it's a must start.
It is a must start.
Now he did
live draft rock. Yes,
Scott did adjust the kicking point settings a little bit to help counteract.
And that's about the kickers.
That actually is fine for me because I've given up. Like in my home leagues, I feel like I'm ahead of the curve on getting in front of things and, what I absorb for being in the industry and hitting the waiver wire. In Scott Fishbowl, like I've got no chance. Like against you guys that eat, breathe, and sleep this, like I'm hitting the waiver wire when it's old news. Like
I wouldn't say that, man.
I'm reading.
Fans win this thing all the time.
Every year.
It doesn't matter.
like I think it's a benefit to have to start a kicker. Like kickers, I started 3 consistently last year. I made my conference finals. This year the scoring's even better. Like
it is.
I'm starting 3 kickers every week, at least, maybe 4.
I think it's so. Here's my thing about kickers. I don't mind using them, but I don't want to be forced into drafting them. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be guys off the waiver wire that I feel like are going to be relevant or whatever that you can pick up in week 2 or 3, whatever, whenever you figure out the bums off your bench. But I want that like positional upside. I mean, like had I been forced to draft a kicker last year, I wouldn't have drafted Elijah Mitchell in like the next to last round. How crazy is that?
I drafted Evan McPherson in the last round. That certainly helped me. So, you can go both ways with that.
Yeah, Young Hoku for part of last season was like the differentiator for me.
Yeah,
it throws a different
they can be good, and they're getting with the I think what is it? There's no negative points for the kicker. Is that what it is?
And they get extra points for distance this year.
Right, it's like the fractional.
So there's not a negative for a miss. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. That's surprising, but I'll take it.
Well, he had to do something to kind of balance it out.
Sure.
Because you're forced to start one and
to draft them in those.
Yeah,
but
basically the top 12 kickers are as good as Tyler Boyd, as good as those.
That's the question.
Flex player, they're as good. So you probably should start them because you get less downside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my question, is when do you start drafting these kickers? Like obviously an Evan McPherson in the last round, that's gold. But where do you start actually wanting to, kind of go in on these receivers? Is it the 6th, 7th round, or are you waiting a little later?
I mean, I think I definitely want to get in the double digits. I think once you get in the double digit rounds, you can do that. Okay. I think it'll be different. So I'm kind of planning. I hope no one from my league's watching. I'm kind of planning maybe around 13, 14-ish. We'll see. There's probably gonna be guys on the board. I'm like, all right, I gotta draft this receiver.
Exactly.
If you're on sleeper, would that change with the must start with the 4-star? Would you go a little earlier since you have to have or?
I think I would. I think I would go like 11th, 12th round and take a Justin Tucker, take an Evan McPherson or Harrison Butker. I think it's also nice to stack with your quarterbacks. Who's their kicker, right? Like I think that's a nice way to do it too.
Yeah, no, I like that. No one ever talks about stacking a kicker with their quarterback.
Yeah, if your quarterback you're predicting is not going to score touchdowns, and definitely get that kicker.
and when they do, you still get the extra points. So
a little offset. There you go. Yeah, a little hedge.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, go Mike.
I was just gonna say, because that was my main priority. Like you said, a great name, Tyler Boyd. Like, obviously I'm taking Tyler Boyd over a kicker in my opinion. But when we get down to, let's say like a Jalen Tolbert for the Cowboys. I'm like, I think I am gonna go a kicker. It's the safer route, just because I know the ceiling's there with a Tolbert being on the offense, but. Like you said, 3 kickers got you to a conference final. I mean, that's not a bad strategy, especially when you don't have negative points working against you.
Yeah, and I think it just gives you a baseline. Like if your team is good enough at the top in those first flex spot or 2, this gives you an extra 8, 10, 12 points every week from 3 flex spots. Because with how deep your starting lineup is in a Scott Fishbowl, like you're going to get a 0, you're going to get a 2. You can get someone that catches 1 pass when there's bye weeks. Kickers are a great way to really fill that in.
It's inevitable.
Now, all 3 of you guys are long draft format, right? No live draft.
I'm unfortunately not allowed. A bunch of us in the Silver Spring area, nonetheless, in DC area, we tried hard to push for one. A bunch of us are actually in a league together locally, and we were like, we've already got the crew. Let's just do it. Let's just make it the Scott Fishbowl League this year. And It didn't happen. So I'm hoping maybe next year he does the same format and we can get it going, because I think it would be awesome to do a live draft for this. I've seen all the pictures on Twitter. It looks amazing just to get together with everybody. I mean, that's what this is about, really, right? You know, it's getting together, meeting people that you haven't met before, talking to them, doing shows like this, like the Podathon, raising money for good causes. So we do have to, unfortunately, cut this short. I know these are rapid fire. I try to make this short and sweet for everybody. But Shane, go ahead and let everybody know what you got going on this season and where they can find your stuff and all that good stuff, man.
Sure. You can follow me on Twitter at the sign above, and check out my website, draftcountdown.com. We'll relaunch. It's an NFL draft website. I write for DLF, do the Devy Marketplace podcasts, and I'll be at the FF Expo this year for the first time. So
nice.
Oh, nice.
That's where Matt and I met last year. I got a picture holding the trophies, man.
I'll be there. I'll be there to grab them.
I still have that
they don't
picture.
break on the plane ride over this time, Matt.
Wait, it broke on the plane?
No, yours did last year, didn't they?
Oh, shoot. Well, yeah, that's
why when you saw me walking through the lobby, you were like, yes!
Yes, what the hell? Right. I blocked that out. Yeah, this time around, I'm shipping a massive crate with everything. Last time, I packed it in like 6 checked luggages, and that failed.
Yeah, no way.
Hey, we live and learn.
Every day.
Fantastic. So, Matt, obviously, with Trophy Smack, you guys got anything new on tap this year for us to be checking out?
Yeah, we're launching a lot of new products. New trophy toppers, the plaque in the middle of our trophies, right? It's an interchangeable piece. So we're opening up a ton of options for folks to put their own logo, to update trophies they already have. We've got a golden toilet that we're launching, a new toilet seat we're launching, broadening our loser offering, because let's be honest, like, what is it? 5-6% of fantasy participants are league champions. Everyone else is a freaking loser. So
if you're not first, you're last.
There can only be one.
Exactly. But super psyched for the live draft. We're going to do some live streaming. SiriusXM will be broadcasting live from our
phenomenal
Trophy Smack headquarters. So yeah, check out our socials at Trophy Smack. And we'll be broadcasting a lot of info about the event.
Good deal. Well, thank you guys for coming on and talking some Scott Fish real quick, and all the good stuff you guys got going on. Good luck in your drafts. Hopefully not too good, because I don't want you to beat me. But yeah, we will see you guys at the Expo.
Yeah.
Yes, we
will.
will.
Expo.
All right, guys.
Thanks for
having
having
us. Good night, guys.
Move on here to our next set of participants in this show, and we've got let's start off here with the Expo man himself, Bob Long. What's up, man?
Going on, guys? Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch Matt and Shane. Everybody's very excited for the Expo, and yeah, we're getting ready. It's 5 weeks away, less than 5 weeks away.
It's coming up.
So
if I'm
not doing IVs that weekend, I would definitely be drinking a lot somehow. Just to get through, but we'll get through. It's going to be a blast. Football signups flag football signups are blowing up. So much fun.
I am too old
trying to find people for teams.
Too injury prone for that. I can't do it.
No, I can't. I'm not.
If this were 10 years ago, I'd be like, yeah. No, not even close.
I got the right shirt for it. I can be a ref.
I already hired real refs. I got 4 professional refs.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't need me.
I mean, like, let's just do. I mean, more my speed. Let's just do like a fantasy football expo, like beer pong tournament. I feel like that's more my speed.
That. Somebody mentioned pickleball. Any drinking games, I'm always in for. So yeah, beer pong, all that kind of fun stuff.
No, it's all good, man. And next man up, Nathan Jahnke. What's up, man? From Pro Football Focus.
Hey, going well. How about you?
Good. So let's jump into the Scott Fish talk here. Nathan, I think we wrote down some notes, but what division and what pick are you?
Yeah, I'm in the Cincinnati division, a group of very enthusiastic people so far this draft, picking from the 5th spot.
And who have you gotten so far?
So we are 4 rounds in. I was happy to see Justin Herbert fall to me at the 5th pick, and then was even more excited to see CMC fall all the way to me, pick 20. So like at that point, we had 12 quarterbacks gone, the 2 tight ends, 3 wide receivers, and only 2 running backs. So.
Hang on.
No, I was sitting there at the 207 spot, and I'm just like staring C-Mac in his face, but he goes 206, the pick right before me. And
sorry, just had to bounce.
Heart ripped from my chest.
My plug wasn't actually plugged in, so my computer was about to die, and I was like, oh no. I wasn't gonna make this last 3 hours. But no, man, God, CMC it. In the middle of the second round. He went in the end of the first for us, so that's pretty crazy. Yeah. Let's bring in the third guest this 15-minute slot here, and it's Anthony Cervino. What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys?
Good. So, yeah, we're just running around the room here and asking everybody what their division and pick is. And I think, Bob, you were next up. You guys had your live draft, right? Or
we did. So all 3 of our leagues are already done. In fact, mine just finished as we were talking. We actually did 20 rounds in 2 hours in Canton, all 3 leagues. And we just finished the last 2 rounds slow draft. And so I'm done. So it's wonderful.
How does it feel to like be done super early and then like watch everything else happen?
I literally will pay people to make sure I draft next year live. This is great because I'm watching the pain and the agony that I've been through for 10 years in this Scott Fish Bowl and the oh dear God, somebody make a pick before we die kind of thing. You know, we all just hate it. And so no, I'm so excited to be done. I can't stand it.
I don't know. I like the slow draft. I like being able to chat with people, but doing it live, doing it live would be fantastic. But
that's a different.
Unfortunately, wasn't able to do it this year. But Anthony, what about you, man? What division and pick are you at?
I am in the Jersey City, New Jersey division, picking from the 7-hole. I ended up with Lamar Jackson, and we did have a little bit of lull with one of the drafters. But once we got going again, I just recently made my second pick, which was Mark Andrews. So I went with the Ravens stack to start.
All right.
That's solid.
It was hard to do. It was hard leaving Kirk Cousins and having that stability at quarterback. But it's like, how am I going to pass up this stack?
With tight end premium.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's especially when you got, because Lamar for me went 105. 104. Herbert went 105. So I was kind of targeting at that 106 spot, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. That's who I was really thinking was going to be available. So to have him at the 107 spot and scoop up Mark Andrews on that turn, I think that's a good get. You know, I think you can fill out your positions, you know, here and there, and that's going to be the backbone of your team.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to find a ton of values here. Just to be sure, like, this is not anybody's first time in this, right? No. So, like, Nathan, you're pretty far. Have you seen anything kind of crazy already in your draft?
Nothing too crazy, like outside of the CMC going already. 20 quarterbacks in the 4th round, so plenty of quarterbacks already off the board. There's been in the Cincinnati division, we saw Burrow go 3rd overall. We saw Chase go as the 2nd wide receiver. Joe Mixon went a little early too, so I'm interested to see if some of these other divisions where it's set in a city, if there's players getting drafted way early because everyone's a fan of the team of the city that they're in.
Yeah, that is an interesting thought.
In our Ohio drafts, all 3 leagues, Joe Burrow went 103.
That's fitting.
Not shocked at all.
It's all fantastic. That swagger.
What do you guys think about the Jalen Hurts pick, the 101 Jalen Hurts? Anthony, what are your thoughts about that? That's gotten a lot of buzz.
A little bit surprised. I'm not going to lie, but can you make a case for it with AJ Brown there? Sure, you can make a case for it, but I think it's a big time reach.
Yeah, with the completion,
he fell to the 2nd round of mine.
Yeah, he almost fell to me at the beginning. Well, I've got the 10, so he almost fell to me, and I was like jumping up and down, like make your pick, just don't be at the guy that I wanted. And yeah.
I think that's the great thing about these the Scott Fish Bowl format or a lot of these high stake tournaments out there with so many different draft strategies. You're always going to find value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing, we had a lot of new people in ours because because of the live draft and they could make it live. And a lot of them were all excited about doing mock drafts. And I said, don't waste your time because you will never do a mock draft that will look anything like what you're going to see. Perfect. And even in real life. So, Nate just said that in his league, McCaffrey went 20th overall. In our league, he went 7th. So you can't count on anything. I mean, it's
just so many people.
You have to be prepared. You have to have plan A, B, C, D, F, and G, and hope if you've got 14 picks, you might have to have all the way out to the 14th letter because you can't predict anything.
I know everybody wants you to
awesome. I mean,
set your auto draft list, and I'm just like, there's no chance.
No,
I can't do it. You have to be able to adjust on the fly. Like, wait a minute, 5 quarterbacks just went. Yeah. Now I got to change my mind. That just in a normal home league, fine, I can figure it out. But in these leagues, no way. There's too much craziness that goes on.
I want to know how high Gabriel Davis goes. I'm a Gabe Davis guy. So I'm interested to see how high he's going to go in the Scott Fish Bowl.
In our draft, he went 7-9.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it's that bad, but you got to realize all the quarterbacks and tight ends pushing that down. Right. So that might be kind of high. I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, in that round, regardless of where he would have, regardless of the team that would have drafted him, he probably would have been the wide receiver 3 or 4. Just what I see in front of me.
Yeah, so it looks like...
So, he's not like going to somebody's wide receiver 1.
Okay.
Or 2, yeah.
He's the 3rd one on the team that actually drafted him. But even looking at the teams left and right, they all had at least 2 or 3 receivers already by round 7. So he would have been the 3rd or 4th on most teams anyway. He'd been the 4th on mine if I'd have taken him in there.
It looks like, so I'm using that Roto Grinders app that follows the ADP and stuff like that. It looks like not all the live draft data is in there.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, he's only been drafted in 2 leagues, and I think they're both live. So Orlando's is in there, and then Metropolis, Sirius Live, whatever that one is. He's been there, but no higher than middle 6th round. Right. So it doesn't look like any of the slow drafts have taken him yet.
Probably not.
So it is what it is. But yeah, he would be an interesting one to kind of track because you just know it's going to be like 4th round for some team. Like we've seen it on Underdog.
Right.
Like,
if you're drafting in Buffalo,
like nuts. Yeah, the Buffalo draft. Yeah, kind of like
like Burrow and all the
Burrow and everybody going to super early. I mean, Burrow, you can sort of. Okay, that makes a little bit sense.
You can make an argument.
Yeah, people really like Burrow, and I totally get it.
The fun one was to watch where we kind of had all side bets of when Deshaun Watson would go, and especially in Ohio draft. And I think our league picked him first at 7:05. So
wow,
yeah, he's one that I'm not sure.
And he was that team's 2nd quarterback. Ooh. Now that guy did pick Brissett in round 18.
Well, at least he was smart.
His only 2 quarterbacks, or 3 quarterbacks, is Patrick Mahomes, Watson, and Brissett. So
I mean, if Watson plays, that's phenomenal for him. But who knows?
Chasing the upside.
Real quick, since you did a live draft, we talked about this last time because Matt Walsh is in a live draft. And you all have to draft on Sleeper, which requires you to not only draft a kicker, but start a kicker. Did you like that or not like that?
I mean, whatever the rules are rules. I mean, it's Scott Fish Bowl, right? We play with what we're told to play with. I'll be honest with you. I was listening to the person here before you. I did not realize that the kickers actually got some pretty good scoring method.
They did.
I just assumed they got just average stuff. And so I did draft 2 kickers, just more because I drafted a kicker from Denver, McManus, and in December that could get ugly. So I got the Tampa Bay kicker, Saka, just for really more for the late in the season. But now I'm starting to think about starting them both based on what he said.
Yeah, it's not bad with no negative scoring now affecting him.
Yeah, and a 35-yarder is 3.5 points.
And McManus kicking out there in Denver and pop off those 50, 60 yarders. All of a sudden, that may be worth it. So
not to give too much away, Anthony and Nathan, who are some? Because I know anybody could be watching type of thing, but give us one guy that you're down the stretch. You're being like, I kind of want to take a chance on him late. Like Elijah Mitchell was a guy that I wanted late last year, and it really worked out for me. Obviously, who's a guy late that you're like, I really like his upside, but he's somebody people aren't really thinking about? Nathan.
Since I was just writing a sleeper wide receiver article, and this is fresh in my head, Robbie Anderson in Carolina, since he's someone that throughout his career has been a deep threat receiver without a quarterback that's been good at throwing deep. I was looking at our data. Sam Darnold's been the least accurate deep ball thrower the last couple of years, and Baker Mayfield has actually been fairly good at throwing deep, accurate passes in recent seasons. So I think having the switch to Mayfield should help his career. Plus, he doesn't have all that much competition, so he should still be on the field all the time, and just him and DJ Moore competing for targets.
All right. What about you, Anthony?
He's not like a not a notable player, but I've been keying on Darrell Williams a lot in Arizona. We know what he's capable of in Kansas City, and as good as James Conner is, he still has that old stigma, injury stigma with him. And Darrell Williams, depending on where you're drafting, like if you're using like underdog, he's going like pick 170, and he's a handcuff who could have a little bit of standalone value, especially in an offense that's going to throw to the running back a little bit. So, yeah, I'm all in on Darrell Williams this year.
All right. Taking notes. Figure that one out. But, all right, well, we do got to move on to our next set of guests here. I want to thank the three of you for coming on. Bob, Nathan, and Anthony, have a good night, and good luck this season.
Thank you, too.
All right. Just before we jump into our next couple of guests here, just want to remind everybody to hit that donation link. We are now over $750. Want to keep it going. So it is fantasy6pack.net/donate. Again, even $1, guys, does helps us out a ton, and we definitely appreciate it. But let's jump into the next guests here. We've got Tim Riordan and Nimble with Numbers, Scott Simpson. What's up, man? Couple Silver Spring division foes here of mine.
Rivalries.
So
who's sniping who?
Yeah, I've already been sniped once by the Washington Post guy. But as he mentioned, it was all Tim's fault because Tim took who he wanted. So yeah.
That's kind of how it works. It's a chain of sniping all the way down.
Vicious circle.
All the way down the list. Yeah. Extremely vicious.
So obviously we don't have to go over what division we're in, but Scott, what pick do you have? Actually, Tim, let's start with you. What pick do you have?
Yeah, I have the 12th pick.
Okay.
So I get the little third round reversal goodie coming up here at the end of the second round. I went with Christian McCaffrey and Tom Brady at the turn with my first two picks there.
Okay. And then I think, Scott, you still might be muted. I'm not really sure what's up here.
He's not muted on StreamYard.
No, but you are muted through your mic or your computer or something, because you're the man of the 15 minutes here. You've got the live pick. We got to figure this out.
We got to get this rolling.
And he's out.
Oh boy.
I know you do this a lot, so you're gonna figure this out eventually. But all right, Tim. So nope. If you gotta leave and come back in, let's figure that out, because I want to get this live pick of yours on air.
Oh, he just went muted on StreamYard, so he unplugged something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But so Tim, how many years have you been in Scott Fish?
I believe this is my 4th season.
Okay.
It took me a couple of years to do well in the Scott Fish Bowl. Last year I did pretty well. I forget how far I made it. I know I made the playoffs. I think I made it through at least one round of the playoffs before I got eliminated. But yeah, last year was finally a good year in Scott Fishbowl for me.
It's tough, man. It is definitely tough. I've been pretty fortunate outside of 1 year to not make the playoffs, but last year was a crazy good year for me overall during the season. I was the number 3 team overall at the end of this regular season. Got my bye, awesome. Went into that week, whatever it was. I can't even think of what week it was. And all the COVID hit. And I lost Eckler, and I had already lost Waller. I lost everybody. And I'm just like, I had no chance. I mean,
I was that team in the league that was leading the league. I led the league in points pretty much, start to finish. But I was somehow 6 and 7. So luckily Scott Fish does the overall points leaders get through the first round of the playoffs. So I got that first round bye still, despite being in like 7th place in my division. But yeah, just one of those years where it was like, I kept going off against the team that would go off, and then my team would do really well, but would lose ultimately.
That was me the very first season. I was so bad record wise. I was actually like, I think I probably won 5 games that year, but I got into the playoffs because of points. So and actually made the conference finals that year. Now that was a year where it was like there was only 480 people, not 3,000. But so not quite as drastic. Right. Scott, we still don't have you, huh?
Can you hear me?
Ah, there we go. What's up, man?
Here's the thing that's so annoying is that, I do this for a living, and my setup is the same. Nothing changed. I get into StreamYard myself, and it just was like, nah, fuck you, man. No one likes me. But I was trying to mock Tim. Hey, Tim, way to go out on the ledge and draft somebody I've never heard, Tom Brady and Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I hope it turns out for you, man. It's.
I think I got 2 goats there at the turn. Tom Brady. I'm wearing his jersey now, a former jersey with the Patriots.
I told my wife, bullshit. How does he have both of those players?
It's crazy. I mean, we had was it Nate in the last segment there? He got Christian McCaffrey at 2.08.
That's nuts.
So that's not fair either. Nuts. I had to use the whole first round pick on Christian McCaffrey. How
if you look at Scott, Josh ADHD's on Twitter, his Roto app, it'll drive you crazy because you'll find somebody you drafted in the 3rd round that someone got in the 6th, and you'll want to jump in a lake because you're like, how did that guy fall to the 6th round? And you're like, oh my god, I hate the Copenhagen division or whoever they are.
By the way, the latest Christian McCaffrey went so far is 209. So Nathan was pretty close.
I love the Scott Fishbowl because you get to meet all these new people in the industry. I mean, I had never talked to Joe or to Scott before this industry and everything. But you get put in these divisions with good players, and then you don't get those values that of Christian McCaffrey falling to 2.09. No. But you meet some great people, but you don't get the great values that you're hoping for.
Yeah. No. And they'll be like, we all had a pack in our DMs not to draft him. And you're like, what DM group do you have?
My 10 spot chat will not stop. Like I had to mute the notifications on it because it's nonstop. It's literally every like 15 seconds. I mean, I'm looking at the timestamps: 903, 903, 903, 903, 904, 905, 905. But like it's just on nonstop. These guys are nuts, and I love it, dude. Like
that's one Scott Fishbowl thing I've never gotten into was the draft slot DMs. I let those pass.
I'm fine with it. I just got to turn off the notification. It's never been this active, although it's also never been this big. But all right, Scott. So we made you hold out for this show. You told us you'd be back by like 8:30 to make your pick, and we were like, just wait. Let's do it live on air here. So your second pick. So you had the 6th pick. So you're like right smack dab in the middle. So we're what 2-7. If I can do my math right. Where are we going? Who have you drafted already?
So I got Joe Burrow at 106, and for me, I did not think Cooper Kupp would be available right now. That's kind of incredible. And then also Justin Jefferson being available. Those are 2 players that I've seen go before this. I almost took him.
No wide receivers have been taken in our draft yet. It's crazy.
It is tight.
Same with us, right?
Yeah, it's how it's going.
Yeah. Duh, we're on the same pick.
Yeah, we're all on the same. He's with.
I'm an idiot.
But at the same time, there's also huge upside in Trey Lance. He's going by the end of the second, beginning of the third. I'm not going to get him. This is it. Like, you're going to get the Trey Lance train. So, but with all that being said, I can't not take Ja'Marr Chase. Like that to me, that's what it comes down to. I wanted to hear what you guys thought as well, because I put a poll out, but I told Bo and my cohort, Mike Collins over there at the Ralph Macho on Twitter, I'm taking Ja'Marr Chase if he's available, no matter what happens, since I have Joe Burrow, and it happened. And so then, but I still want to get the room. Read the room. You don't just want to be arrogant and completely biased. So get an opinion. So what do you guys think? I want to hear some banter. Negative, positive, whatever you guys got.
Yeah, I was messaging a few of my group here about how there hasn't been a wide receiver picked yet. A few of my friends here in my fantasy football Twitter group, we haven't had a wide receiver pick through 18 picks. And I was like, you know what? If Justin Jefferson, Ja'Marr Chase, or Cooper Kupp somehow end up falling to me, don't listen to this, other people in our draft, but if one of those three somehow end up falling to me at the third round reversal here, you can have your guy at Trophy Smack send me the trophy now.
I can't.
Tournament's over.
That's terrible. We can't have it happen.
But yeah, Ja'Marr Chase is a great pick. I have Ja'Marr. I'd take Justin Jefferson a little ahead of Ja'Marr Chase personally, but those are my top two wide receivers for sure.
Well, me too. Justin Jefferson is just the man, and I love him. And they're going to air it out more in Minnesota this year. That change is coming.
Yes,
but because their defense can't keep them in games. So if you can't run the ball, establish the run, you have to establish the pass. So hopefully, they get that right. But it's the stack, right? And so here's my thought.
Yes, that's where I was going to go. That's why I would take. Right. That's why I would take Chase.
I think Justin Jefferson outscores Ja'Marr Chase. I think he does this year. But and I'll draft and redraft. I will not probably do this, but I want to get, if I'm in the playoffs at this point, I need to get one of those DFS style weeks where you get 2 touchdowns from Burrow and they're going right to Ja'Marr Chase. And so that's where I'm thinking in those playoff weeks. Maybe they're playing Baltimore. Maybe they're going to score 60 points again. So I mean, it's not that simple, but that's just the kind of razor's edge you have to go on in the Scott Fish, because they're so big of a tournament. You're like, I'll take this tiny, like half of a percentage of a boon in that game over this, amazing Justin Jefferson and Cooper fucking Kupp. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss on you.
We good. Don't worry about it.
You're all good.
Well, you're leaving Cooper Kupp on the board for Joe to get him in the next round as well. I'll get Justin Jefferson at 3.1, and then Joe will get his Matt Stafford Cooper Kupp stat.
I do not think Kupp is coming back to me, but if he does, I mean, you can just that trophy is not going to you, Tim. That trophy's coming to me. If I get the Stafford Kupp stack, gone.
Are you sure you don't want Robert Woods again like last year?
I did want Robert Woods last year. The luckiest. I got so lucky last year. Robert Woods went 2 picks before me, and I was like, I just really want part of this Rams receiving core. And I was like, I'll take Kupp. Fine. I was so pissed that Woods got taken. Yeah, that worked out. Yeah, and then like 3 rounds later, I took Debo. Right? That also worked. Like I had so much fortunate stuff just happened to me in the draft last year. I mean, that's just what happens. But then the playoffs, it all blew up, so it doesn't really matter. But we got some humble brag over here from Robbie. Congrats, I guess. All right, so you're going Chase.
I was just going to say, I will clean sweep it for you. Getting a DFS style type of connection like a Ja'Marr Chase and Joe Burrow can win you and diversify your lineup in, those playoff weeks to where you're trying to edge out that opponent and get the upper half of the most points scored. Like you said, maybe they play a Baltimore late division game. So absolutely, I love that stack.
I want to ask you guys, because this was a debate I had, like when Hurts got taken 1 pick before me at 2-2, I sat there and went, do I take Stafford? Do I take Rodgers? Do I go with the massive upside with Lance, like what Scott was saying? But like, where would you guys have gone here? I think ultimately it was between Stafford and Rodgers to me. I wasn't quite ready for Lance. I know some people are probably all over that, but I'm not. Where would you guys have gone?
I personally think Aaron Rodgers is going way too late in drafts. I haven't dug into the whole Scott Fishbowl scoring thing with the completions versus incompletions, whatever. But I feel like that would be a good thing for Rodgers. But I don't really get how a 2-time back-to-back MVP award winner is going as late as he is in fantasy football drafts.
You're not worried about
not at all.
He had a couple of seasons there where he didn't look great, and then all of a sudden everything just went bonkers for him again. But you're not worried about with the loss of Devonta Adams, he's not going to be able to reproduce 30 touchdowns again. Touchdowns.
Not really, honestly. I mean, not that extreme number, but not enough to draft him outside of the top 12.
If Mike McCarthy was still the coach of this team, yes, I would agree.
That's true. Scott, what do you think?
But it's Matt LaFleur.
Honestly,
did I make a mistake?
I would have gone Aaron Rodgers because of the interception ratio.
Yeah, the interceptions hurt too.
And in that, Aaron Rodgers is plus 33 overall compared, to 37 touchdowns, 4 picks. And then on the other side, Matthew Stafford's plus 24. So that's a 9-point advantage there. And every interception is minus 4 points in this league. So
touchdowns are plus 6 though. No, plus 4.
Right. What I'm saying is if you throw more interceptions, like last year, Stafford threw 17 and Rodgers threw 4, 13 times 4, that's not good, right? That's
52.
That's 52 points that you're losing. Nice. So I'm just saying I would have leaned to Aaron Rodgers, but you're my foe. I'm not gonna.
Hey, the pick's already made. You can shit on it all you want. I don't care, dude. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Anything can happen anytime. But I would have gone Aaron Rodgers. I'd feel more secure with Aaron Rodgers myself.
It was definitely a tough choice, man. I went with just something in the back of my mind thinks without Adams there, we could see Rodgers drop to 25 touchdowns, and that's brutal. I'm just not really sure they could be, a little more run heavy with both Dillon and Jones there. That's my fear. And you just know that the McVay offense with Stafford, with how good it was last year. And, they added Allen Robinson, who I still think is good. I know that was kind of just man, it was a coin flip for me, but I just,
the weapons are
better with the lack of,
but Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. You know what I mean?
If you go to Wikipedia, I'm pretty sure it says that, right?
Yeah,
right.
Commercials, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, so we do need to move on to our next set of guests here. I want to thank you guys for coming on, but real quick, I want to give you 30 seconds. Tim, let us know what you got going on this season, where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm producing the SiriusXM Fantasy Football Mornings Guru in the Morning Show with John Hansen. So you can catch us there, channel 87. And I'm also doing my own thing this year at Game of Dynasty, doing a little Dynasty podcast for myself there. So if you have 30 minutes a week, go ahead and listen to that if you can.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll listen to that. I'm excited that Tim is in this league because I've gone back and forth with Tim on the Twitters, not in the real life. But to actually meet somebody, put a face to a name, I'm excited. I like how you fantasy football, so I just wanted to get that in there. Yeah,
thank you, man.
At Twitter, Nimble W numbers. It's Nimble with numbers, but they don't have a long enough characters, or you can't put a slash in there. So it's Nimble W implicit with numbers. NimbleWnumbers.com. DFS. We start week 1. We go all until the end of the year. FantasyMillionaires.com or FFMillionaires.com, but the Fantasy Millionaires. That's what we are. Redraft. We are starting that August 1st. We go through all the different rounds, get you ready for your draft. I wrote my rookie running back piece for Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's going to come out later this week. Every rookie running back in the first 6 rounds, there's 20 running backs this year, broke down where you're going to kind of draft them, where they're going to break out. And then, I'm just everywhere, I'm or with Joe in the Crab Cakes playing fantasy football. So check me out anywhere you find Joe, you'll see I'll be behind him,
Yeah. Stealing the victory, unfortunately. But all
right, well, in the Crab Cakes. That's what
and hopefully we can keep the Silver Spring division chat going and make me hungry every single day. We just keep talking about all the good restaurants in the area. It's totally crazy. But all right. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for coming on, and good luck this season.
It was well. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, hope you guys
got that in. Scott, you're a jerk.
I should have went with you first.
That was fantastic.
That was perfect.
Man. Sorry. I'm coughing. All right.
That was good.
All right, so let's bring in our next set of guests here. We've got Shane Barrett. What's up, man?
What's
Welcome
up?
back. We got Garrett Ball and we got Kacey Kasem.
Hey,
What's up?
am I early?
Shane,
I think I'm early.
You actually are a little early. Maybe we'll
What you did?
I'll
hang out
Unless
with
doesn't
Kacey
show
and
up,
Garrett
we'll
for sure.
we'll see what happens. But
We'll do a flip flop.
yeah, well, you can. I mean, you just want to hang out the whole time. That's
Yeah,
fine.
sure. I got time. Don't tell my wife that.
I mean, you were already
Mom's
here,
word.
so it didn't matter anyway. All right, so yeah, Scott Fishbowl Day. Let's get the conversation rolling here, and we will start with Kacey. What division are you in? What pick you got, and who have you drafted so far?
Okay, yeah. In the Frisco, Texas division,
Okay.
drafting from the 104, and I have Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Rodgers. Those are my
I had
two.
the time wrong.
All right. If
That's a
you
good
missed
get.
the conversation last time, I took Matt Stafford over Aaron Rodgers, as it might be my demise. Apparently, we will find out.
Somebody took him pretty right at the end of, or right at the beginning of the second. So Matthew Stafford, that is.
It was a coin flip for me. I had the choice of both as my first quarterback, and I went Stafford. I don't know. It's one of those why not?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
think
Garrett.
I know why you went that way. You're looking to sneak a Cooper Cup stack in there without anybody.
Maybe. I know my division's listening.
You're
Stop
wait.
it.
Good thing I waited till after they left to say that.
They already know. They were talking about it. That's not going to happen. All right, Garrett, where are you at, and what you got so far in your Scott Fishbowl draft?
I am in the Greensboro, North Carolina division, and so far I have drafted Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and just got
Nice.
DeAndre Swift. There we go. I'm at the
That's a nice
10th.
start.
I'm at the
You're the
10th
10th
spot,
pick?
So.
You got Dak and Hurts, man. Hurts went right before me, and it crushed me. That's who I wanted as my. I went Kelsey first at 10. Are you in the 10 spot,
Okay.
chat?
I'm in the going for 210 spot chat, and yeah, it blew up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
going
this one's full. I think you
for a
can only
long
have
time.
75 people in it, so it wouldn't matter now anyway. But yeah, we've got the Twitter DM group that's going on. But
yeah.
All right, Shane.
Eventually,
so, we're gonna talk to you anyway, even though you're early.
Even early.
Party crasher.
Can't read the.
Apparently, we can't read it either. Whatever.
Our job is
we're
to
here for a good time.
analyze, not read.
So, what division are you in? What pick? And who have you picked?
I am in the Charleston division. Fun fact, I'm actually going to be in Charleston for the next 3 days. And I'm picking from the 3 slot. And Joe, we have the rare opportunity, I feel like, where I've picked Patrick Mahomes, and I am now on the clock at 210.
Oh, all right. So our second live pick in a row. We had Scott pick live in our division just this last segment. So you were at 210. You've got Mahomes. So now 210. So who are we looking at?
There has not been a single wide receiver taken in our draft yet.
Been happening a lot.
I'm very, very tempted to take one of Kupp, Jefferson, or Chase. But I want to look at...
You also got to worry about those quarterbacks not coming back to you.
That's exactly what I was.
You're going to be the back end of that reversal.
Yeah. So I've got the 310. In some mocks, there were different players that fell to me in those mocks, so I almost feel kind of comfortable going non-quarterback for the second pick, but I'm not sure yet. So.
All right.
I almost saved. I was on the clock not too long ago, but I almost saved it. But I've had league mates DM me, hey, it's your pick, it's your pick. It's good. Just spamming. So I'm just okay, fine. I'll just get it over with.
I did the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. I made that pick 10 minutes before I came on here because I was I can't. As soon as I saw that email pop up that it was my turn, I was okay, I'm gonna go draft.
Yeah, even though I had taken Kelsey at 110, I almost took Jefferson at the second round, but I was like, there's no way. If I do that in this, like I'm gonna be left with like
You're
James
going
Winston
to
as my
die.
QB1 and like Mariota as my QB2. Like I would have been absolutely destroyed. So it's so hard to pass up on the value at the other position. Sometimes you look at it, you're like, but they're so good, they shouldn't be there. You just have to like remember that they are supposed to be there in these drafts. I've done it for many years, Scott Fishbowl, but it's a trap every time, man. It's so hard to pass up on it. But all right, Shane, we got your decision?
No.
Stalling.
I love it.
So, okay.
I love it.
I think I'm punting on QB because best available is looking like Tannehill. And
Who else is there? There's got to be somebody.
Tannehill, Tua, Matt Ryan.
I would take Tua
at 210
or Ryan. I mean, over.
You've had so I'm guessing a bunch of teams already have 2 quarterbacks though, so you may not have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, that
is true.
That's the other thing you got to look at there.
One thing that I haven't looked at.
Yeah, if a bunch of teams have 2 quarterbacks, then yeah, you can probably afford to wait because Tua at 210 just seems a little too
early, right?
It does.
A little too early, right?
A little too early.
Yeah, I don't think.
But as far as best QB available, probably Tua, at least as far as weapons go.
Yeah, that's tough.
Like best QB available, but like not best player available kind of situation where it's like, do you go with
really
the positional scarcity or go a different direction and hope it doesn't bite you in the butt?
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know, man. I don't think I could pass up on one of those like absolute stud receivers.
Yeah, I know.
It's so tough, man. I mean, I almost took one at 2-3. The fact that they're falling back at 210.
Justin Jefferson went 107 in my draft.
Yeah, I mean
and then Cooper Kupp also went in my first.
I'm guessing Cousins is gone. He's gone.
Did you say Cousins?
Yeah.
I'm
Cousins wouldn't be too bad.
So hard right now.
If Cousins were there, he's a phenomenal value.
Cousins would be.
I feel like if you're looking at Tannehill as the best available, Cousins.
Yeah, Cousins went 204,
and Carr's gone.
Carr went 2 picks before me at 208.
Yep. Yeah. So I think you got to zig when everybody else is zagging. Like you've got to do something different to differentiate yourself, and you're just gonna have to rely on, finding a second quarterback later that's gonna be halfway decent for you.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that too because I have Mahomes.
Yeah, Dylan's saying go Jefferson
because you could go.
He's going Jefferson 10 out of 10 if he follows me at 210.
So Jefferson's Cup or Chase. That's really my decision. I feel like here.
All 3 of them.
They're all 3 available, or Dalvin Cook.
I kinda
See, I trust a receiver playing more games than a running back throughout the season, though. And if you're going to go early, you're going to lose early more than win early.
There's so much positional value at receiver.
But you got to start 3 receivers, though.
That's true. That's true. And there's so many flexes, it almost doesn't matter. I don't know. I still think Jefferson
I would
might be
probably
the way to
go Jefferson. Yeah, because Cup, even though it's fantastic,
man, I don't want to be the reason.
No, I'm actually gonna zig from y'all just a little bit and go Jamar Chase.
Go the receiver route. Yep.
That's the second Chase pick live on air. We've just locked it.
Mahomes and Chase.
Chase is the guy.
That's upside right there.
So how many years have you all been in Scott Fish? Kacey, we'll start with you.
This is my 8th Scott Fish.
Yeah. You've been around the block. You've seen all the rule changes. I mean, longer than me. I've been in it for like 6 years now. What's different this year that's made you like think differently about how you're going to draft?
I never think about my draft when I draft. I just draft. So nothing really. I just honestly, this is how I'm going this year. Is I'm just going to go with who I want on my team. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to go with the first name that comes in my head, and that's going to be who it is. I don't want to stress over it like I do every other year. I'm trying to be more chill and laid back.
I'm kind of with you. You've just got to let the board fall to you and figure out what happens. But Garrett, what about you? How many years have you been in it?
Well, this is my first. So
all right.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. Yeah, I was at work today when I got my first 2 picks, and I'm sitting there like freaking out whenever I have a break.
Yes.
Over there, my coworkers are like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I need to figure out who's the most accurate quarterback, but can also maybe have rushing upside." So that's when I went with Dak. But so
I'm like,
how can I play both sides where I can get the bonus points for accuracy, but also a little bit on the rushing. But yeah, like he doesn't know a ton about like fantasy football and sports and all that. So I'm just ranting to myself, but at him.
I do miss being at work when I was on the clock multiple times, and you're just like, nothing else is going to matter right now. This is all I'm going to focus on for the next probably 30 minutes because I'm going to make it take that long. But Shane, what about you, man? How many years have you been?
This is year 3 in a row for me.
All right. So what has changed over the last, I think this is now the 3rd year of the Superflex, right?
Yeah.
So you came in on the
every year I've been in and it's been Superflex. And then go ahead.
Yeah, so has anything changed this year's scoring or
from
that
last year
made you kind of
from last year to this year? No, I think from my first year in 2020, obviously the kicker flex position, which I'm probably going to shock a lot of people. I think I'm actually going to take advantage of that this year because I am hardcore #team no kicker and #kickers ruin everything. But our girl Linda has done a lot of good work, and I respect her and the numbers quite a bit. So I think I'm actually leaning towards taking a kicker this year where I would not have previously.
Yeah. This year we've mentioned it multiple times already on this show. The kicker scoring is very favorable for them. They got rid of the negatives, and they did it because the live drafts, anybody who's using sleeper is required to draft a kicker and to start a kicker. They couldn't figure out how to like flex one apparently over there. So it is what it is. I'm still kind of probably going to lean a little more upside with more of my picks than drafting a kicker, but I did draft one last year. I did not keep them, but I did have a kicker pretty much all year long. I just kept swapping out people. Like when there was nobody left on the waiver wire, I was just kind of like, I need to drop this injured bum and pick up somebody else. And there was always a kicker better than everybody else left. And so I just kind of went with that, and bye weeks and stuff like that. It just kind of worked out that way. So just want to before we close out here with you all, just want to say we have hit the $800 mark on our donations. I am super stoked, hoping to crush that number. That's more than 2 years ago, but not quite last year's numbers yet. So hoping to beat last year's 1,500 mark. But before we let you all bounce, I think Shane, you're gonna hang out, or
I can hang out. Yeah.
All right, Kacey, you go first. Where can we find your work this season?
All right. Well, I'm not writing, but I do have my podcast, Get Real with Kasem, where I interview people in the fantasy football space. So if you're interested in that, guys and gals, or you just want to learn more about people, there you go. And you can find me on Twitter at @TheKasem.
All right. Good stuff as always. I have caught your podcast a few times. I thoroughly enjoy it, so everybody should check that out. Garrett, what you got going on here over at Fantasy Six Pack and otherwise?
Well, I'll be doing some written content on some wide receiver breakouts and busts coming up in, I think, August. And as far as in-season content, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. So I think
I haven't figured that out.
I did.
We're getting there.
QB. I think last year I did QB streamers, and hey, you might see me doing that again. But yeah, as far as my own stuff, I'm always doing some stuff on Twitter, doing some Twitter threads, and taking a quick break from my podcast, Ballfield Banter on Spotify. But I'll be back at it in August. Just crazy things going on right now in the life, and I just needed to step away for just a little bit.
I totally get that. I totally get that, man.
But I will be here though. I will be doing writing and Twitter and all that. So I'll still
good stuff.
You'll still see me.
All right, Shane. So I think Hutch is actually showing up. So we are going to say, just for the sake of
I'm totally cool
landscape here, we are going to say goodbye to you. So let everybody know where they can find you this season.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at FFShaneB or at Fantasy Nightcap for my podcast. I am also joining Kacey in the No Writing this year and just doing the podcast, which will come out in season probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll do 3 short episodes, one for waivers, one for start sits, and then one for trades for Dynasty players. So that'll come out on any platform that you listen to. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google. I worked really hard to get on all of those. So that's where you can find me.
Yeah. Hey, podcasting alone is enough work. Trust us.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't write a lot anymore. I do basically the rankings and the podcasting and I'm done. So it's good enough for me. But all right. Thank you for joining us. And everybody, good night.
Good luck,
and
guys.
Good luck in Scott Fish.
Good night.
I'm gonna win.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I love the random end
I'm
comments.
gonna win.
Scott said you suck. All right. So again, hit that donate button, guys. fantasy6pack.net/donate. We are over $800. I want to keep it going. And yeah, right on cue here. We've got Derek Denningham from the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. We got Robbie Rumboyz. What's up, man? RumboyzRobbie. Sorry, I said that backwards. I don't know why I said it backwards.
Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboyz and girls. What to do? Shouts to the Fantasy Six Pack crew.
Dilly.
Absolutely, man. So, and then we've got Mr. Hutchinson Brown. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? I'm so
it's all right. It's all right. It happens.
We got
a legend. We in the midst of a legend right now.
I'm so sorry, guys.
We're gonna see huge
I
things
was
from
supposed to be on for the last 15-minute thing, and I'm just.
You're good, man.
I read the sheet that you sent me. I thought I was on 9:30. I'm so dumb. I'm sorry.
Hutch, hey, Hutch, we have met you in person. We already know what the vibes are, bro. You be walking into campus to Canton, ready to outbid and auction everybody, just getting it, bro. We know.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you are good. You are good, man. It worked out, man. We had Shane on early. We just brought him in. Just why not? Just roll with it. But
just admit that Shane ruins everything.
I like Shane, man.
I love Shane.
I know you're busting his balls. It's good.
Shane.
All right, so we're gonna run around the room here real quick and say what division, what pick, and who you've picked so far. I think 2 of you were in the same division, so we're gonna.
I don't like that guy up there either. Just so that we know right now,
Hutch. Where are you at? And then we'll hit the other 2 up.
Right now, I believe. Oh my gosh, why can I never remember the name of my division?
Mobile. Maybe we got some notes down.
Yeah, I'm in the mobile one.
Mobile, Alabama, I believe, right?
The dirty.
Yeah, that's correct. It's the AL League. Yeah, that's correct. I never remember the divisions I'm in. I didn't.
So you got the 12th pick there.
No, the 11th actually.
Oh, you had the 11th. Okay, sorry, we wrote down 12. Our bad.
No, you're good.
Who have you picked so far?
So I've gotten in 3 rounds so far. So at pick 11, I got Justin Jefferson. In my 2nd round pick, I went with Russell Wilson. Ooh. And then my 3rd round pick, I got DeAndre Swift. So I'm feeling great about my draft.
That's
I'm really
nice.
liking
That's pretty nice. I like that. I like that start. You're gonna have to find some quarterback value, but you already did with Wilson in the early 2nd. That's pretty nice there. So maybe you're just in one of those lucky drafts where you're gonna be able to find some quarterback value late. They do happen. Yeah. So Derek and Robbie, you guys are both in the same division. Correct. Did not plan this, by the way. This was just lucky.
Planned it. No, he did this.
We had no idea this was going to happen, but that works out perfectly. So, Robbie, you are the 1-4. Yeah. Who have you picked so far?
Yo, really quick shout out to you guys for really doing your digging. Like a lot of potathons. I've never seen a potathon do that. So big ups to you guys.
Yeah,
I made Mike do it. By the way,
I definitely
I was like, Mike, get on it.
I definitely messed up.
We got 15 minutes. We can't waste time.
No. Hey, I love it. No, I am in the Colorado Springs division, picking at the 4 spot. I did the typical RumboyzRobbie thing, went running back first, ended up with JT, but that then threw me into with my 2nd pick to where I had to go Kirk Cousins. I think that there's still some great value at receiver, and I may go ahead and get my receiver third. I may, because of the third round reversal, go ahead and see if I can swipe up a QB, and maybe I play low on the receiver because of some things I can do there. But yeah, we sitting good, we sitting pretty. We go late QB every time in Scott Fishbowl. It's the same guy that won the POC division in 84th overall or something like that. Like, I can't remember. I'm not good at math,
Yeah, I really wanted to, because here's the thing. Because when I picked Justin Jefferson, I think when I picked Justin Jefferson, it was weird. It was like 4 players. I think it was, when I was on the clock with my 11th pick, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Najee Harris, and Austin Eckler were all on the board.
Yeah. Such a tough choice, man.
And I picked Jefferson. I truly believe in Jefferson. And that means with those 4 players and only 2 picks in between my next one of those guys made it back. And I believe the guy who made it back was Austin Eckler. And I was deciding between Austin Eckler, Russell Wilson, or Tom Brady. And look, when I'm coming into this Scott Fishbowl, I want to make sure I get quarterbacks. Because last year I ended up with Kyler Murray, and I also drafted Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taysom Hill. That was a disaster because a lot of weeks Taysom Hill was my have to start at quarterback because Kyler Murray was hurt, Ryan Fitzpatrick was hurt, so I had to start Taysom Hill as my quarterback 1. I am not missing out on quarterbacks again this year.
Third round is coming up, bro. It's about to get naughty.
It's gonna get interesting.
I already picked my 3rd round pick. I got DeAndre Swift because I just couldn't resist him falling. And I'm gonna make sure I get a solid QB2 at least and get his 3rd quarterback as well. But looking at that board, and when I'm drafting this year, last year I didn't do it super as well. Yeah. I want to, because this is a humongous tournament. Okay, this is a ginormous tournament. Thousands of people are playing.
3,000 people this year.
Yeah,
right.
I am drafting players that I'm drafting strictly for tons of upside. I am drafting players who might have historic seasons, might go crazy this year with the new pass-heavy offense that Minnesota might bring. I can see Justin Jefferson having 1,800 yards this season. It wouldn't shock me at all. DeAndre Swift with this new Lions offense, I could see him taking a major jump in year 3. And then with Russell Wilson, if he gets unleashed by Denver, QB1 overall is definitely in his range of outcomes. I'm looking for guys with upside.
Oh, yes.
Because I would rather place last place in this entire tournament than be middle of the pack.
But if you were drafting in the Colorado Springs division, you wouldn't have had the choice at Tom Brady in the 2nd round. He didn't make it. He didn't make it past the 106.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's a good one because you get points for completion percentages and first downs. Tom Brady is like that type of quarterback where he's going to score you a lot of points there.
Yep. That's why he ended up on the good old boys team.
and you still gonna lose.
Nah, I got that.
Why even start this, bro?
I got tight end 1 on my team too in a tight end premium league, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Right after I'm done walking through you, I'm walking through Mike Clay.
All right.
I'm letting it be known right here, right now.
All right.
RumboyzRobbie, Big Poppy Robbie.
I love the confidence. I love the confidence.
Right.
We do this all the time.
There's never confidence in Scott Fish. I'm not gonna lie. There really just isn't. You get done with your draft and you're like, I drafted who?
Yeah.
All right, man.
Kirk Cousins in the 2nd round.
I drafted Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr.
I drafted Allen Robinson and Kenny Golladay in the Scott Fish Bowl last year. I drafted both of them on the same team.
Well, that was your first year.
Yeah, it was my first Scott Fish Bowl year.
Don't worry, Robbie. You'll be able to probably get the 14th and the 17th or 18th QB. To be able to roll out there for your starters here.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm the same person whose phone broke, two SFBs ago and ended up with Justin Herbert, and then Tyrod Taylor got a punctured lung. I'm good. Oh, man. I'm good. I am not bugging, bro.
You lucked out with the Herbert. Yes, you did.
Derrick Henry ended up like getting injured last year, and I still
just steamroll through the division. Just like come on.
Yeah, I had to deal with Nick Chubb, Antonio Gibson, Kenny Galladay, Allen Robinson, Kyler Murray, Fitzpatrick.
Got some insider
My
information.
team,
Gibby's gonna go off this year.
Sucks.
Gibby's gonna
Gibby bad last year.
Hey, everyone keep writing Gibby off.
I ended up having to start Jalen Reagor most weeks. That's where my team was. I started Jalen Reagor in my league most weeks. That was bad.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, my team was bad. It was a disaster.
That's almost where I'd be like, all right, I guess I'll throw a kicker in there.
Right?
No, right?
Yeah. It was so frustrating.
Wow. That's pretty brutal. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here and switch some guests around who are
You're
giving
good.
me
Everyone
right now,
donate.
So,
Everyone donate. The link is in the
yes.
bio.
Thank you. That would be much appreciated.
Please,
I don't know, Mike. You got it. You got any final thoughts here?
My only thing is I just wanted a quick note on, because we kind of asked earlier, if at all, if you are going to draft a kicker, what round are you aiming for?
What's the last round?
Hey, that's fair.
Because them removing the negatives from kickers.
Yes.
Yep.
And
that's why I ask.
And just the upside. You can see me with Young Wei Koo pretty freaking early.
Yeah, look,
when we start when I should probably be landing like a bench receiver or start building a bench like in normal formats. That might be when I'm like, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, like kickers, if you look last year at the scoring that it is now, like if you look at the kickers last year and how those scoring systems now would have added up, like the top kickers would have averaged about 13 points.
What was it like? Yeah, it was like,
top kickers were averaging like 13, 14 points a game. Like that's like a low wide receiver 2 type. Like this, like a low wide receiver 2, high wide receiver 3 type of number. Like if you're telling me you're getting a wide receiver with 13, 14 points per game, where are you willing to take that? Like, I don't know, like the 6th round, 7th round?
Yeah. Like
even earlier, maybe?
It's one of those twists that you really have to think about. Like I've been SFB since SFB 8.
When double digits roll around, I will start
SFB
looking
9.
at 100%.
Yeah, this year, every year with SFB, you should be paying attention to the settings and the scoring settings. But don't just go off of name value. You can't play this game like that. You have to go and get your guys. If there is a player that you are dead set on, you have to play this game with conviction. You have to play this game with conviction. Everyone else around you is going to play safe. Everyone else is going to do the safe thing.
Play for upside.
Exactly. Play for upside. Play your game. Play your game. Play your board. If getting a kicker in the last round is your style, do that. If playing late QB is your style, do that. Play this thing, though, the way that there's not one specific strategy that wins this whole thing. Fans, 9 times out of 10, outbeat the analyst in these things.
Yeah. Wasn't a fan who won last year?
Yes, it was a fan who won last year.
The top 4 last year were a fan in the finals, at least.
Yep.
The finals this year is going to have over 100 people or 100 people in it. It's going to be absolutely bonkers, dude.
It's going to be insane.
You're going to get there. You're going to be like, yeah, I have a chance. Oh,
don't.
I got to beat out 199 people. Damn.
At that point, you already made it farther than just about anybody else.
Right.
So
that is going to be crazy. But
take your victory lap of being a finalist. And
at the end of the day, you're playing for charity. Donate to the different pot-a-thons charities. Donate to Fantasy Cares, and fucking just have a good time.
and you can just
see that scrolling. See that thing scrolling. Just go to that website and donate.
Be a weirdo, scampers, dilly.
All right, so we got to jump over here to our next guest, but I want to give everybody a real quick chance to let everybody know where they can find your stuff this year. And Derek, we'll start with you.
You can find all of the Good Old Boys stuff at Good Old Boys FF, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Good Old Boys FF. We've got the website, goodoldboysff.com. You can find a lot of our rankings, all of that stuff. And the biggest place is to go over to our YouTube channel, the Good Old Boys Fantasy Football Podcast YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button. One of the best ways to support our independent podcast.
It's your boy, RumboyzRobbie, Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Check us out on YouTube. Just type Rumboyz into Google and you'll find everything Rumboyz. But also with that, if you want to save yourself 40% off on All 22, head over to all22.com. We're partnered with All 22 and our homies PFF. Make sure you guys go give them a huge love. Tell them the Rumboyz sent you by using promo code Rumboyz. That's one of the things I'm pushing right now real heavy is the All 22 thing. So yeah.
All right, good stuff, man. We are looking for a good analyst league. So if you want to hook us up, Robbie, we need a good analyst league for our boys.
Let's run it. Let's run it.
Man. You gotta,
y'all got an active. Y'all got an active All 22.
We do.
Invites coming.
Keith Lott's the one that's running it for us. But just hit us up on the Fantasy Six Pack DM and
dilly.
We need something there. So
Dilly.
What you got, man?
You all can go follow me on Twitter at TYFMNFL. The handle is right on my username here. And you can go follow me on TikTok at Hutchinson Brown. Started a TikTok recently over there. Check out the Young Fantasy Mind Football podcast. It's my main podcast I do. Starting next week, we've been doing one episode a week for the summer. Starting next week, we're going 2 episodes a week. Going to be awesome. Very excited to start getting into draft season. And then check out my content with football guys. I create short videos for their YouTube channel. And check out my articles for DLF Dynasty Football.
Derek, make your pick.
Oh, I'm gonna just make you suffer on this one. Part of the strategy.
We've had a live pick on air.
We've had 2 in a row. That would have been 3 in a row. That would
that would have been 3 in a row.
Are you two next to each other?
Robbie's like 2 picks after. I didn't realize I was on the clock until you just said something, Robbie. So.
All right, this guy.
We'll figure it out. Shout it out in the chat, man. Let us know.
Make sure you let us know.
All
right, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.
Dilly.
All right. Well, let's jump right in here to our next grouping here, and I'm looking forward to this one big time. And start off here with Cooterdoodle, and I've got Sam Holt and Jeff Trela. What's up, everybody?
What's up, guys?
What's up? Sorry, I just fangirled out because I saw Cooterdoodle and I haven't had this interaction with her before, so I'm very excited.
I know Joe let me bump up because we have COVID in the house, so I was like, I need sleep. So.
She was awesome enough to still do it. So I was like, we randomly had somebody else bow out because of COVID, so I was like, we can move you up, or it's up to you. Like,
I'm excited. Like Sam said, I haven't got
happy to have you all here. Real quick, we'll just run around the room like we do every time, and let us know what division you are in and what pick you have, and we'll start with you, Cooterdoodle.
I am in the bikini bottom division. I'm the 110. Do you want me to say who I got so far?
Yes, please. Sorry, I did not mention that.
So I pivoted completely from what I planned to do, but I got Jalen Hurts, and then on the wraparound, I was able to get Kelsey. So pretty excited about that because I was going to go him 110, but I read the room and I could tell they were going quarterback. So I was like, I'm going to grab a quarterback before they take them off.
Yeah, so we're in that 110 chat, and you saw I went Kelsey, came back around. He got sniped on Hurts, one in front of me, who's going to be on the show soon. I'm going to yell at him, but he's in the waiting room, so he knows. Sam, I think you are a live draft this weekend in LA with the Chrismack fellas, right?
Yes, I cannot wait. I'm super excited. A lot of fun people are going to be at the live LA draft, so cannot wait for that. I'm not sure if I got my spot or not, but I asked for the number 4 spot. I did it last year. It's one of my favorite spots to draft, so fingers crossed that I get my spot. Otherwise, I'm totally comfortable pivoting. You just got to read the room, like she said. I mean, it's the Scott Fish Bowl. You never know how everyone's going to end up drafting at the end of the day. Unless you got the first pick and you can dictate how everything goes, you just got to be along for the ride.
So I'm just curious, why do you want sort of an early-ish pick and with the 3rd round reversal?
I think that I just like that spot early because I love the caliber player you can get in those first 2 rounds anyways. And I have my 4 guys, which I think are the same for everyone too. I'm going to either go Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, or I'm going to pivot and go quarterback, go Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. If any of those 4 are there for me, I'm a happy camper. So I've got a pretty good odds for that. And then based on my mock drafts, I'm really comfortable with who I can get later. And so I love having those studs stacked up.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I like being able to go get you who you want to start with early. To me, I love having that third round reversal, be able to like just load me up. It felt like it worked for me last year. I'm hoping it works again. But Geoff, what about you? Where are you at, and who have you gotten so far?
Well, I live in New Jersey, and we have two nicknames: the Garden State and the Armpit of the Northeast. So I didn't want to be in the Newark or the Jersey City division. So I took Pawnee, Indiana, for represent Parks and Rec.
Nice.
I'm at
Great
the
show.
I'm at the 110, just like you and Cooterdoodle. The reason I went 110 was Travis Kelce. I took him in the first, and then I was real happy to get Russ Wilson on the wraparound. I had Russ last year.
Jealous. I'm jealous.
I know.
You got
I
that.
hate you.
Listen, it gets better in a minute, my friends. It does. So I got Russ. I'm pretty happy about that. Third round reversal is the most beautiful thing in the history of fantasy sports. Derrick Henry in the third round. Come on now. The guy was leading the fishbowl in points per game until he got hurt last year. Yeah. Everyone kind of casts him off because he's not a big, huge PPR guy. But it doesn't matter. When you're adding these first downs on top of this in this format and the touchdowns, he's a beast. So after I added a beast at all three positions, I just drafted in the fourth round. I was going to take my second quarterback, but I kind of, like they were, Cooterdoodle was saying, read the room. The two guys behind me both have two quarterbacks already. So in the late fourth, I went with Travis Etienne. The last segment, Hutch and Robbie were talking about drafting upside, and I think Etienne's got that Alvin Kamara upside. And then, I'm sitting 2 picks away. I'm probably going to go with Matt Ryan and get my second quarterback after the turn. Like I said, they both have quarterbacks already, so I'm feeling pretty good.
They're not listening right now.
Everybody in his division, if you're listening, take the quarterback. Screw him over because his team doesn't need any more help.
If they want to take a third quarterback already, that's fine with me. I'll take Keenan Allen and start my wide receiver group. No problem.
Oh my gosh.
I think Russell Wilson went like 107 in mine, and I was hoping he would fall to 110.
Yep.
He went
actually, I said I didn't want to be in the Newark, New Jersey division. He actually went 101 in that division.
Oh,
so
wow.
I wouldn't have
good choice.
Yeah, that's working out pretty nice for you.
I'm feeling good.
Is there? Yeah.
For Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that would be pretty phenomenal. Sam, I want to ask you, so you're drafting after multiple live drafts have already finished. A bunch of these drafts are going to be a week in. You're going to be able to kind of just sit back, watch, learn. Are you watching the Roto Grinders ADP app and just taking it all in to figure out kind of what your strategy can be? Or are you just...
I mean, 100%. I've got to just sit back and just poach and just watch everyone else's drafts. I'm actually also in, I think, 3 live drafts right now for other leagues that are on the side. So I'm also kind of just seeing the way and reading the room, just the way that people are drafting. I think that Scott Fishbowl has a lot of effect on just regular drafts around as well, because I'm watching quarterbacks just fly in some 2 QB leagues, and I'm like, this is too soon. There's this aggressive fever pitch to drafting. So I'm glad I'm getting those drafts out of the way. I will keep an eye on all the ADP charts and just, talk to my friends who've already drafted, see how things have been going, and do my homework. So that way I'll be fully set up for Saturday, because I'm sure that there will be plenty of libations and drinks. I got to make sure I have the plan in here before we go ahead and imbibe.
If not, get it on writing.
That is probably the one thing that's good for me and not doing the live drafts is there won't be these flowing during my drafting, but otherwise it would be awesome. I'm super jealous that I'm not able to do a live draft.
The live draft, though, I think the advantage, like you're saying, though, is people don't have as long of a clock to really plan out and think about stuff, so they might kind of overreact to a run. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They might panic, so that kind of adds a new strategy to it.
Exactly.
Makes it run longer.
And like I said, if I don't get my spot where I wouldn't pick earlier, I already know and kind of can feel the vibe that quarterbacks are just going to be something that flies off early. And I did not have good quarterbacks last year. But Matt Ryan was someone I just started as my number 1 last year. And I was like, this year I'm not going to punt the quarterback position. Lesson learned, going to grab my guy early. So I'll be totally comfortable taking whoever's available, best available first round, no matter what spot I get.
Absolutely. Cooter, I want to ask you, like, is there somebody kind of later in the draft that you're hoping to kind of grab, maybe one or two players that you're looking like, okay, late round wide receiver or running back that you're kind of hoping is sitting there for you and you can snag? I know people are listening.
I don't want to give secrets away, but I definitely went through the first thing I did because I'm on one of the sleeper leagues, which makes it interesting because we have to take a kicker. So that'll be interesting how that goes. But I definitely went through and I kind of just queued up people that I know I want to try to get, like just kind of like through like my gut, and queued up a few people just for later. That way I don't get kind of lost in it. And but yeah, there's definitely people in the middle rounds that I'm excited to hopefully snatch up. Mostly running backs, I'll say that. Yeah,
I feel like the later running backs are definitely the ones because the good ones go early, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I've said it earlier. I got really lucky, and thanks to this man who just commented, Jeff Lambert, who will be on next, I took Elijah Mitchell with one of the last picks because he always tells me, go get the last San Francisco running back that's being drafted. He's going to be the one you want. It never ends up being like the top person. And so I was just like sitting there. I'm like, I don't know who to take. Who's the last San Francisco running back? Yeah, Elijah Mitchell. Click. Yeah. Okay. Everybody spent $100 on it the first week in fact. And I'm sitting there like, I already had him. Cool. Worked out.
That is smart.
So
everybody in your division's like, where's Elijah Mitchell on the waiver wire?
Right.
Who did this?
Super pissed.
That is
Someone's
the best
cheating.
flex. That's the best flex is like halfway through the season when people were like, you drafted him. I was looking for him,
Yeah, absolutely. So how many years have you all been in Scott Fish? Jeff, I'll start with you.
Two
2 years.
Second year.
Okay.
Yeah. I just missed the playoffs last year. I was 5-2, and then the Derrick Henry injury, Russ Wilson injury. Yeah, so I'm running it back with the same team again this year.
Run it back.
We just didn't work out the first time, but
yeah, let's try it again.
Right? Sam, what about you?
This will be my third year.
Okay. How far
Sam's
have you gotten before?
Sam's a vet, but Sam hasn't made it very far because I think one of the pieces of advice that I'm trying to give to other people, because I'm going to try and listen to it myself, is be much better about the waiver wire this year. And I think because I'll be doing Sleeper, it's going to be even easier because I have a lot of leagues on Sleeper, but I never gave the attention it needed in Scott Fishbowl because people are sharks in there. Every time I'm like, oh, that guy. Nope. And it's just bottom of the barrel guys on the street that are just left on the waiver wire for anyone that plays Scott Fish. So I am going to be tending that waiver wire like crazy all year just to make sure that I don't miss out on any players. Yes. So that's going to be like my main key to success this year. And then, I'm not punting the quarterback position. I might punt tight end, but not the quarterback position.
Cooterdoodle, what about you? How many years you've been in?
Yeah, this is my second year. Last year I drafted with my heart, so I'm not doing that again because that didn't work out. I was like, this is fun and exciting. And so now I'm actually trying to be smart. So we'll see how it works.
Oh, that's all good.
We've had plenty of people come on here with plenty of different strategies. Like we've said before, there's no one set way to do it. Just kind of go and get your guy.
Yep.
That's what matters.
That makes perfect sense. But all right, before we let you all run, we'll start with you, Cooterdoodle. Sorry. I'm getting over COVID.
I know. Am I
literally just had a negative test yesterday for finally after 2 weeks. But let us know what you got going on this year and where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Cooterdoodle and follow the at MB Fantasy Life Twitter handle, Instagram, TikTok, all of that stuff as well. And subscribe to the newsletter.
Yeah, if you guys do not follow her, you definitely need to. She's hilarious on Twitter. I love it. So have a good night. Get some rest. Feel better soon.
Thank you, guys.
I feel better.
Thank you for joining. But Sam, what about you? Where can they find your stuff this upcoming season?
Well, definitely follow me on Twitter at Samantha R. Holt and on Instagram at Sam_awesome. You guys can find all of my content. I'll be in a couple places this year, so you'll find my articles and podcasts over on drroto.com. I'll be posting videos with the fan fantasy playbook with Kyle Yates. I just had my first video go up today, so if you want to check that out, 5 wide receivers to stock up on this season. And then I'm actually also illustrating with Fantasy Life, so I get to talk to Cooterdoodle in the office too.
I've seen those illustrations. Those are
amazing.
Thanks, guys. They're really fun to do. I like doing them.
So, all right, Geoff, what about you, man?
Yeah, man. I'm at JTrela20 on Twitter. Obviously, you could catch my work right here on Fantasy Six Pack. I'm a contributor for both baseball and football, and I have my own upstart website. Give us a check out at Stack Attack Fantasy Sports. Doing a podcast on YouTube as well. Same thing. All right.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you all for joining.
Yes.
And hope everybody feels better. And thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So we've got a couple of our guests in here now. We're waiting for one more, but just before we let them jump in here, just want to remind everybody, hit that donation button. And we are up over 850. So hopefully we can keep it rolling here. But let's bring on a couple of guys from Going for Two, Ryan Cearfoss and Jeff Lambert. What is up, guys?
What's up, fellas? Man? Jeff, Ryan tried to sabotage me. He said we were on at 10:15.
You told me 10. You told me 10. Jeff messaged me this morning at 10. He's like, "Are we on at 10:30 tonight?" I'm like, "No."
And you said no, 10:15. I'm like, all right.
I mean, we could just read the picture I sent on Twitter.
Yeah, that's easy though. That's too easy.
Easy things. That's cool. It's all good.
I expect Jeff to keep me in check, so it's his fault. Expecting me to have any.
So usually it's Ryan, the one he shows up last minute and sort of like crams on the show sheet before we go. So it's a role reversal that we're doing here.
It's fine. You know what? There's no show sheet. We're just here having fun. In fact, I got to open up my second beer finally. I've been slow rolling it here. So the guy at the 11 o'clock or the 10:45 hour here had a little bet with me over under 4. It's going to be well under unless I just start crushing them. There's no way at this point though, but it's all good. All right, guys, where are we at here in your divisions, and who have you taken so far? So Jeff, start with you since you're right below.
So I am at the 6th spot. I've always been the 12th spot. I've been in the Scott Fish Bowl for this might be my 5th year now.
Always the 12.
Always
Jeez.
been the 12.
I mean, last year that was pretty cool, but
yeah, I've always, even when I do my regular drafts, I just like the 12. I like the turn. I like to have the back-to-back picks because I like to be able to sort of corner the market, so to speak. If it's like 2 running backs, I'm like sort of like, they're both in the same tier. I'm gonna just take both running backs and then basically drop the tier down to the next level of running backs. But this year I wanted to be a little bit different, so I went with the 6. Because I wanted to get one of the top 6 quarterbacks. I think there's a 6 quarterback tier, and then there's basically a dropout after that. So I wanted one of the quarterbacks, and then I also wanted to be not affected by the reversal. So I'm basically in the middle, so I'm not going to be affected by anything going on with the reversal. I'm not going to worry about it. So that's kind of why I took the 6th pick. And so far, my draft has been a little bit surprising. I knew I was probably going to get Burrow or L-Jax with that first pick, and I got Burrow, so that part was pretty easy. In the second round, I was kind of hoping to get Kyle Pitts, who was there at the 207 or whatever it is. But so was Mark Andrews, which I didn't think he'd go that far. So I took Mark Andrews, and then coming back around in the third, lo and behold, Kyle Pitts is still there. So I took Kyle Pitts too. So I got both tight ends with Burrow. Currently in the 4th round, I'm up in 3 picks, but I think the guy that's up on the clock right now is actually in Ireland. So I think he's probably sleeping right now. So he probably won't pick until tomorrow.
How did I not realize you went 2 tight ends?
Yeah, there's people in that division that aren't happy.
Dude,
those too.
You guys know Rhinos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
He went 4 straight tight ends.
Holy crap.
He sent me that today, and my jaw just dropped. I'm like, what? 4 tight ends? Why?
That's insane.
I'm sorry, no, 3. 3. He had Kittle, Waller, Schultz in 3 straight rounds.
And of the 3 tight ends that you want, that's not the 3 I want.
Yeah, no.
Let me get at least one of the top, 2 or 3 guys at least.
Kelsey, Mark Andrews.
I mean,
Pitts.
When they first did tight end premium of was that 3 years ago? There was a few teams that started off like 4 of the first 5 picks were tight ends.
Tight ends. Yeah.
I mean, I saw some crazy stuff, and I don't know how well those teams did, but I feel like they probably didn't do that well.
I had one in my division last year. He had 6 tight ends total at the end of the draft.
That is bonkers, man.
And
This is like you do know you need other players. Like
exactly.
I don't even know if you can start all of those tight ends.
It's only a half point. Like it's not that many points difference a week.
It makes him basically equal to like other players, but not that much farther ahead of other players.
Yeah, it wasn't
guys.
That's just a top 3 guy. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I got Kelsey at 110. I'm done for a while. Like I'm just gonna wait for a long time. I don't really want to flex a tight end, unless somebody crazy falls. But it's just not. I didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't planning to take 2 tight ends, but I couldn't pass up Kyle Pitts in the third. I want to get my second quarter, and this league went so quarterback heavy. By the time I got up to the 3rd round, the best QB on the board was Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitts, pretty easy choice.
Yeah.
To Kyle Pitts. I'll get a quarterback equal to Matt Ryan in the 4th, probably.
Take the upside. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I can see that.
I personally, I just like I'm with you, Geoff. I would want 2 of the top 3, maybe that outer rim, outer edge, maybe a Dalton Schultz with a Kyle Pitts or a Mark Andrews, but I don't know if I could personally see myself flexing a 3rd tight end. 2 I can get behind with Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews all day.
All right, Ryan, we've been talking for so long. Have you said who you've picked yet?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I was like just making sure.
It's fine. That's good. Yeah, I picked from the 3 spot, and I took Lamar Jackson at 3. And then I kind of punted quarterback to the point where I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. So I went Lamar Jackson, Najee Harris, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, Michael Pittman, and Breece Hall. So I'm sitting here with 3 running backs, 2 receivers, and Lamar.
Man, your division is flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm up in
We're in the
picks.
middle of the 2nd round.
Yeah, I'm 6 picks, yeah.
That is nuts.
Quarterback's decimated. I'm at the point where I'm gonna start a skill position person in Superflex. And
Yeah, your quarterback too is going to be Huntley backing up.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. Because at this point, like, if you look at Zach Wilson, who just went, he had multiple games with negative points because of this brutal scoring, and you might as well just start like a wide receiver 2 in that spot. So I'm just putting that position.
Or
But
just
you know
start
what?
nobody. Just start at 0. Get a 0 better than a negative.
Throw the kicker in there.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I'm not going to take a kicker because I saved the brand, unlike Geoff. But
I haven't picked a kicker yet. I've been thinking about it, but I haven't done it yet.
Well, I needed to get a little farther in draft before I think about it. A little too early for that, but I'll probably draft one. It's just like if there's somebody who I feel like has way more upside than a kicker. I know like the scoring has changed this year, but it's just not quite there still for me. Like they lack ceiling.
So the thing with me, if you look at it, because I mean,
you guys got some buns.
I've heard the lack ceiling thing, and obviously Scott Fish it's more about cumulative points, which you can definitely get with kickers, in your flex spots. But the reason that I don't like it is because of this. Typically speaking, if you draft kickers in your league, the most people are going to own is 2. So there's 12 teams in the league. That's 24 kickers. You could still stream kickers, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Or other positions you can't stream. If I don't get a kicker in the draft, I can probably pick best matchups. I can pick domes. When there's guys who be playing in the domes, I can stream kicker if I have to.
Yeah, that's even more of a reason why I'm kind of like I'd rather just try with the upside of some other players than worry about the kickers. Because unless you're on a sleeper, you don't have to take a kicker.
Yep,
I mean, they have to draft and start one every week, which.
Yeah, I'd much rather get even if I got a handcuff, because last year in Fishbowl, I took 4 running backs in the first 5 rounds. 2 of them were Cam Akers and J.K. Dobbins. So I had wished that I had taken their backups, their handcuffs. So I think in those late rounds, I might take a kicker. I might just take my running backs handcuffs just in case they do go down. It's a long off season. We still got a ways to go before season starts.
Yeah, I have been burned by the off-season injury every single year except for last year, and it hurts, man.
I lost the 101 last year.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Still made semis, but I lost McCaffrey, which sucks.
Yeah, man, that would have been a hell of a season had you not lost him. But I don't know. This is such a crazy tournament. All sorts of nutty things happen. I mean, it really does come down to, I'll be honest, a lot of luck during the draft. Really not luck during the season. Like, you just, like, it's not, because win-loss record really is meaningless at the end of the year, because it's really points that just carry you through the season. And this year is even different. Like, they're really, these guys really help having points carry through the playoffs more. I don't know if you guys are realizing this, but like every week, your cumulative average from the season and then through the playoffs carries into that playoff week. So like the first week of the playoffs is week 13. So week 1 through 12 gets added to your week 13. Your average gets, and then week 14, if you go on, it's 1 through 13 gets plus 14. So your average week matters a lot more. That would have helped me a lot more last year. He didn't do it last year, but I'm still not sure it would have mattered. I mean, my team got decimated by COVID that week 14 or whatever it was. There's a lot of like really star teams. As you guys know, we're in that crab cake league where Scott won, and my team had no business making it to the. I don't think I was going to make the playoffs. Got to the finals, and I'm sitting here like my team had no business making it past.
Yeah, you put me out, and I thought there was no way in hell you were going to beat me in the.
Your team was stacked, and then
I thought so too.
Everybody got hurt in COVID all at the same time. It was bizarre. So, I asked this to everybody, I know nobody wants to give away too many secrets, but what, is there a player that you're kind of aiming for late in drafts that, just a shot in the dark, like just close your eyes and shoot the dart? Jeff.
I was gonna say, Ryan, you go first, because you might take my guy, because
you go first, Stella.
You don't think you
like
can't?
How are we talking?
So my guy is late, and it's because of Ryan that I've been taking this guy. I've got him in a couple of my home leagues too, and that's James Prochet for the Ravens. I think he's gonna be the number 2 receiver there, which doesn't have a ton of value as a true receiver, basically the 3 receiver behind Mark Andrews and Bateman. But I do think he's got some big playability. Getting him super late, in an offense that I expect to be good. I can see James Prochet really showing up. People are taking Duvernay, thinking he's the number 2, but everything I'm hearing, Ryan was on it first before I heard it anywhere else, and now I'm hearing it everywhere that he's the number 2, not Duvernay. So he's a guy that I've been grabbing late.
Yeah, every single press conference, it's him and Bateman. You don't see any Duvernay in it.
No Tylan Wallace?
Man, I don't want to talk about it. I was such a Tylan Wallace person when he came out. I'm real bitter about it still. One of the throws I'm kind of like is Kendrick Bourne. I don't know who's gonna. I know we had all those, all the volume for Jacoby Myers last year, but Bourne flashed, and if they open up that offense, he's their deep threat. I think he's somebody who could maybe see a bigger role this year and emerge maybe as either the top receiver or in competition for it.
Yeah, I like Bourne too. Bourne's another guy. If I'm personally on the Myers side, but not in the Scott Fishbowl. I don't think he fits. I don't think he fits the scoring the way I want. I think, but in regular like PPR leagues, I've been getting Jacoby Myers pretty cheap everywhere. But I agree with Bourne.
I went super deep. Yeah.
Yeah, in the Scott Fishbowl, I think Bourne probably has more value. He's gonna get more touchdowns than I think Myers will.
Jeff, I always give you credit for this. I drafted Elijah Mitchell last year because of you. Because you always tell me you draft the last San Francisco running back. So is that the same thing this year? Or are you back on Elijah Mitchell finally?
I'm on Elijah Mitchell. I'm on Elijah Mitchell, and then I'm handcuffing him with TDP at the end. So
I like that one. I like that one a lot. He's
been on Elijah Mitchell hard this year.
Yes, I've been fighting on Twitter over. I just don't see.
I got Mitchell around like 20 or 22 or however many rounds it is. Like what we draft 20,
22, yeah,
22. So I got him in like 20, and I was just like, I'm looking at the last draft list. I'm going, I don't know who had. I don't even know who had these players are. They don't matter at this point. Right. I'm like, I could take a second kicker. I don't want to. Oh, what did Jeff say? Oh, yeah, Elijah Mitchell.
Jamal Williams is another guy I'm taking everywhere.
Who?
Williams.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, he's gonna get carries no matter what. He has standalone value, and if Swift goes down,
yeah,
it's wheels.
Unfortunately, he won't be super late, but I do like that. I do like him as a kind of mid-round pick. So
the crazy thing about Elijah Mitchell is I went on every podcast, including my own show, and talked about him. I didn't get him in the Scott Fish Bowl, and I didn't get him in my home league. He actually went in the second round, my rookie draft, because I hyped him up so much. My league mates did not want me to have him, so he went like 204.
Of course.
So yeah.
So be careful what you say out loud, right?
Exactly.
It is a curse in what we do. But all right, guys. I'm gonna just sum it up real quick. Check them out. They're on their. You got their Twitter handles right here. Both going for 2.com. Both do phenomenal stuff. Both have their podcasts during the week, during the season. I'm sure you guys are doing it in the off season too, right? Coming up soon, if not already.
It does year round.
Yeah, I figured as much. But we do got to let you all bounce and bring on this next round of guests. So thank you for coming on, and hope you guys can donate and contribute, guys.
Absolutely.
Good luck in drafts.
Yep.
Thank you too.
Absolutely. So yeah, we are still hovering at 850, hoping we can break that mark here. But let's bring on the next round of guests here, and start here with Bob Harris, Football Diehards. What's going on, man?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Good. Glad to have you here. And then we got Chris Allen.
Hey, everybody. How we doing?
Good.
Wait a minute. Wait. I was told my contract stipulates nobody smarter than me was allowed on. And then I realized that after we signed that writer that probably no one else could come on with me. So it was kind of
no, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Chris is definitely one of the smartest guys I know in the industry, and I don't think a lot of people disagree with that. But third up here, who was supposed to be here last segment, but I'm gonna give him crap for it. JB. The guy, my nemesis.
I came late on purpose. I just wanted to hang out with Bob Harris, man.
I was just saying I've not got enough for Coach KB.
No, great crew here. Loving this segment here. Let's just jump into the question of the multiple hour here, and I think, Bob, we'll leave you for last because I know where you're at for drafting. But, Chris, what division are you in? What pick and who have you taken so far?
I'm in the Canton, Ohio division. Let's see. I'm at the 9th slot. We're through just through the second round. I think we're just about to wrap that up. Made 2 picks so far. I started off with Kyler Murray. Came back in the second round, and I took Derek Carr. Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I'm not all that great at like the super flex like type drafts, and I always wind up having one of those like panic attacks where I'm thinking like, oh gosh, I'm going to be starting like Matt Ryan, who's not like a bad start, let's say, but like one of those quarterbacks that are at the back end of like our quarterback rankings. So I was like, nah. I'm just going to go ahead and double tap the position right out of the gate. I think there were a couple other players that would have been better picks maybe because I think like Justin Jefferson was there. I don't think Jonathan Taylor had already been picked at that point. Maybe a couple of the running backs that were there, but I was just like, nah, forget that. Let me just get 2 quarterbacks and at least start off with something I'm a bit more comfortable with, and then we'll see how the draft unfolds from there.
Solid strategy. You can't go wrong with it, honestly. JB, where are you at?
I'm in the Kuala Lumpur division in Malaysia. I am in the 6th hole, and so far I've gone Kyler Murray, Kyle Pitts, and just picked Joe Mixon in the 3rd round. I actually went into it with the same strategy, Chris, because you can't possibly do worse at quarterback than I did 2 years ago, when I ended up the season with Kendall Hinton starting at quarterback, and it was just a mess. So last year, and Joe will tell you, I decided I have to prioritize quarterback. And I did well. Joe and I both made the semifinals. So I said this year I'm going with the same thing. It worked. I'm going double quarterback. But then I come around the second time, and I think we had like 12 quarterbacks off the board already, and I'm looking at Kyle Pitts. After Andrews and Kelsey both went in the 1st round. I'm like, all right, I'm going to scoop up Pitts, and I'll figure out QB too. I'll make it work.
Right.
Yeah. That's great. And JV made sure he wasn't in my division this season, so I couldn't snipe him 5 times.
Oh my god!
That I still like. I bookmarked that article of yours because it's hilarious, where he just hates me for sniping him so many times. But Bob, so you are in a live draft this weekend in LA.
I am
with I'm guessing with all the trophies. I didn't play in this either. I didn't realize this when I started asking everybody to come on. But we have 3 people that have now been on that are going to be in the LA live drafts. We have Matt Walsh, one of the men running it. Sam Holt just in the last segment or 2, and now you. So I want to ask you, like, how does watching all these drafts unfold? Do you think it helps you at all?
I don't know. They're so varied, man. There's seem to be so many approaches that I, the one thing that I'm going to be watching for is, how, it seems like there's always some outlier picks. Some people, maybe picking that are fans of teams or fans of players, like some wild card picks. And so I'll be watching for that. But I mean, this is a pretty tough crew. You got Ratcliffe and Liz Lowe's.
Yeah.
I mean, just a whole bunch of people. John Paulson. In there as well. And I'm leaving people out that are fantastic players as well. Just tons of people. And so, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I know, I maybe have like fears. I'm in a dynasty league, a Superflex dynasty league with some real heavy hitters. And it was the startup was the year Andrew Luck drafted. I used my first round pick on Andrew Luck, and then he retired before the season even started. I've been playing catch up at quarterback ever since, right? And I mean, and I've done well. I got Josh Allen, Derek Carr now as my starters, but I mean, it seems like just like an uphill battle every time. So I feel like I'm going to go into this draft this weekend with my mind on the quarterback due to my horrible experience in Scott Barrett's damn league.
Well, and you're going to see like 8 quarterbacks go in the first round, so you
I'm going to be
sort of forced into drafting at least one of the first 2 rounds. Like, there's no.
And that's the other thing. We won't know our picks until we're there, or our spots until we're there. They're going to. I'm told there will be. Matt Walsh is up to no good as always.
I'm sure he's
going to try and make me wear one of those grills and trot me around like a pony. But also there's supposed to be some kind of competitions to determine the draft order. No. So. I'm not sure how that's all going to work out. So that adds a layer of intrigue that maybe a lot of people doing drafting right now didn't experience. I'm in a 106 chat. John Hesterman accidentally put me in there, and it's been fascinating watching how everyone kind of goes about it. I stayed in because it's just like there's so much great information going on in there, and so I mean I don't know. It looks like it'll be a good time. I think. The varied approaches. I don't think it's helping me to watch everyone drafting. I'm just like seeing so much. It's like such a wall of information. You're going, oh my God, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Sampers, you are correct, sir.
It's overstimulation of information.
So I'm gonna bet Matt has something to do with like lifting number of belts or lifting number of trophies to see who gets how many. Like what early.
I heard
pick.
It was fights to the death. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, good thing you work out.
Don't come to LA then. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to the Buffalo live draft.
Go fly across country, peace. Oh man, no, this is I'm looking forward to seeing what happens there. I did not know about any of that. We have obviously he didn't say about any of that, but I think he's trying to keep it under the radar. But I don't think Sam knew that. She's like, I think I know my pick. I'm not sure. Pretty funny.
That's your first mistake. You thought you knew something about Scott Fishbowl.
Yeah, no kidding. And speaking of that, so Chris, speaking of weird things that happen in Scott Fish, like any picks in your draft right now that have just been sort of like, wait, what?
No, I haven't seen anything yet. I'm waiting for like when the kickers start flying off the board at some point, like during the draft. I was in the division last year where somebody took a kicker in the first round, but that was more for it was like a charity type of thing that they were doing, and they'd already cleared it with Scott, like so on and so forth. But it was still kind of one of those like, okay, that's what we're doing. all right, I'm not here to rag on anybody's draft strategy or anything like that. But no, everything's pretty much gone the way that I had expected it to, especially in the first round. I expected like every pick up until mine at the 9 spot to be just all quarterbacks, and that's how it went down. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it went down when I looked at it. And then maybe a running back. I think like Jonathan Taylor went off like shortly after my pick and all that stuff. So it's gone pretty much according to what I had expected. But I'm assuming once we get into, like we were talking earlier, like once we get into the Daniel Jones, Matt Ryan, or when like somebody has to like actively decide between some player and Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback, I'm sure that's when stuff will completely go off the rails, and we're going to be looking at some wild stuff, like in terms of ADP and all that.
Yeah. I mean, there's been some crazy stuff already. I don't know, JB, if you had any, but I mean, like the one that popped out to me is Jalen Hurts going 101. Like, and I don't know what draft it was, but I saw that. It was like, I mean, like, I know it's go get your guy, but nah, right? I mean, that seems a little bonkers.
We had Brandon Cooks go at 209 as the wide receiver 4. So it went Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Brandon Cooks.
Speaking of that, Cooper Kupp literally just went. I almost had the stack, but I don't think I was going to get it because I think Timmy Riordan was going to get me on that one. He just messaged us in the Silver Spring chat that we've got going on, and was like, I almost had Cooper Kupp, so I guess I had Stafford. That's why it was like the big deal. That would have been pretty nice, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. So.
Good for you, because that's what you did to me last year.
No.
I had it.
I didn't even want Cooper Kupp last year. I wanted Robert Woods.
You wanted Robert Woods, right? And so did I with my Stafford, and then you took Kupp from me.
He was so pissed. He was like, I wanted one of those two to get the stack. And I was like, I just wanted part of the Rams offense, and it worked out immensely. Oh, man.
That's super funny.
Bob, I'm sure you've been at Scott Fish before many times.
I have had my ass handed to me on the regular since 2016.
I mean, like, so you haven't drafted yet, but I mean, like, what's some of the stuff that you've seen that's just been sort of like, what makes this so different than other drafts?
It's just the level. I mean, the level of excitement, enthusiasm. I mean, you guys are probably in the same boat I am. My Twitter notifications have melted all of the equipment I have here, and I mean, just the amount of excitement. I think it's just I mean, look, everyone wants to be a part of a great thing that's such a positive. It brings people together and more people together than ever before, and just, I mean, I'm trying to imagine the infrastructure and behind the scenes work that goes into setting all this up. It's hard to imagine. And the end result is, a bunch of people out there who love competing, getting to help a bunch of people who have no idea what the hell we're doing. So that's fantastic. But I mean, I think in general, every year, I look at the everyone puts out, rankings of drafts and things, the projected rankings. And I just make sure I'm ahead of Fabiano. And otherwise, no, it's just, it seems different every year. And I love the way they kind of push the rules and, shake things up and kind of try to look for, new avenues for people to play, whether they like it or not. And, the completion percentage thing this year is going to add a wrinkle. Sorry, Jalen Hurts drafter. Should have read that part. But there's always some new things and it's always difficult. And also, as someone who's in a lot of leagues, as I'm sure all you guys are, and everyone in this business, right? You're in 30 leagues and you're trying to work the waiver wires, and it can be difficult, right? Just a matter of, volume. And so you kind of prioritize certain leagues. This is clearly one you prioritize because you'd like to make a good showing. So just, man, it's just, it's just such an immense enterprise. It reminds me like of the Marvel movies, right? Like if you watch them one to the end, you think, wow, this is such an amazing thing these people have put together. This is like a similar thing. It's just so vast, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that makes it all work. And this year more so than ever with the live draft wrinkles added in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the live drafts will be fun. I'm super jealous that I couldn't get into one, but hopefully he keeps them going and we can get into one next year. I mean that's where the background came from. The road, the highway, you know, the little symbols.
Well, I was trying to work it out so you could come to Los Angeles with me and be my factotum in those battles to the death. So.
I don't think I survived very well, but yeah, you want to fly me to LA to go hang out with all those big boys? I'll do it. I'm all for it, man. But all right, well, real quick, let's run around the room here and get everybody to shout out what they got going on this year. And JB, we'll start with you, man.
Yeah, so you can find my written work over at Razzball, over at AaronTorresOnline.com. I'll be doing my Fantasy Besties podcast again, which was actually grown out of Scott Fishbowl. It was me, Kevin Tompkins, Andrew Cooper, Lindellians, and Jordan Loop. We met through Scott Fishbowl. We talked in a chat, turned it into a podcast, and that's the networking component of Scott Fishbowl. It's so awesome. So we'll be bringing that back soon, and I'll be doing the DFS Flash again on Aaron Torres.
Love Linda.
That's a phenomenal group there. So that's awesome to hear. Scott Fish, yeah. Chris, what about you, man?
A few spots over the rest of the off season. You'll find most of my stuff over at 4for4. Doing some video work over at Football Guys, still some Dynasty work there too. Once the season starts, you'll probably see my weekly recaps on NBC Sports Edge. And then also I'm got like a research position. I'll be working behind the scenes at Established to Run, doing some research analysis work for Evan Silva and Adam Levitan and the rest of those guys.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I just realized that it wasn't following you. My bad. I just fixed that.
No. I was about to find you after I got done with this too.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
All right, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Obviously,
I follow everybody, so there. You can hear me talking endlessly on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. It'll be 5 nights a week, 8 to 10 p.m. Probably once the season starts again on NFL radio as well on Saturdays, and hopefully the pregame show with Jeff Mans. Otherwise, it's me and Dempsey doing things up. Since we're going to 5 days, they're going to kick me off dirt, I think. And good riddance, they say, during the daytime.
All right, good stuff, everybody. Thank you for coming on. Hopefully you guys can donate. But either way, thank you for coming on and helping out.
We enjoy your company too.
Of course.
Yeah,
anytime.
Appreciate it for sure. And yeah, good luck this season, everybody.
All right, y'all be safe.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Let's jump into our next grouping here. But real quick, just want to let everybody know we hit the $925 mark just now. Actually, I just saw it come through. So we have broken over that $850 barrier finally. So we're full steam ahead in our donations here for MS. fantasy6pack.net/donate. If you can do anything, it is much appreciated. But let's bring in our next grouping here, and we'll start with the two Fantasy Pro boys, Pat Fitzmaurice and Joe Pisapia. What is going on, fellas?
Hey.
Look at us. We come as a duo. That's right.
I know, right? Not totally planned. It just happened to be like how everything fell. It was kind of like, I mean, I don't know where else to put them. I wasn't trying to put both Fantasy Pros guys together, but I had going for two guys together. It just kind of works out that way. But we are going to have you
Pat
join.
And I are still awake. I mean, I'll be honest.
Yeah, as if I don't get enough of Joe during the daytime. Thanks for making me see him.
I figured you'd appreciate it. But you are going to have a third here with you, and we got Des Beeler from the Washington Post, fellow league mate of mine, who I secretly am starting to hate because he stole Jalen Hurts from me. He is up right now, so I could make a pick on air and maybe just panic pick and just screw up because I need a good pick here back. We're on the third round reversal here, so you're on the 3-2. Do you want to make your pick live, Des?
I mean, we already had a league mate, right, Scott, making a live pick earlier, just like an hour ago or so. I mean, I think it's a thing. And by the way,
we've had a couple.
My pick, so. We've had a couple. And if I pick, then you're on the clock. And so
I will make mine.
You, so.
Yeah, I will make mine in between the segments if that's
all right. All right.
So we can get all the guests their time. But if you want to have your time here, go ahead.
Well, maybe I can get a discussion going on this. I've started quarterback, and I'm not crazy about the Cup just went. The three big wide receivers just went off the board. I obviously don't need a quarterback. Although that would be a pretty interesting build, starting with three. But I was getting pretty tilted because having gone quarterback, I wanted the rest of the second round to be heavy on QB. Just take the QBs. I don't need them anymore. Leave players for me. And for a little while, people were ignoring quarterback, but finally a couple went off the board. So I think my choice is between a couple running backs or Kyle Pitts. Do I do the Kyle Pitts thing, or do I take maybe Najee Harris? That's probably the decision I have to make here, because I'm not crazy about the wide receivers. Anybody want to vote either way?
I'm not
really
helping it.
Yeah, you're not.
I have the next pick, so you guys go.
You're taking a quarterback. There's one like solid quarterback left. I know you're probably eyeballing him, especially since I sniped you on Hurts. Oh, by the way, that's the only reson I came on the air. Now that's over.
Humble brag.
I could just make my pick and we'll move on to it. But anybody have a strong feeling either way on that? Should I go Pitts or Najee Harris here? What do you think?
You can't go wrong with getting a high volume top 3 tight end in a tight end premium Scott Fishbowl. That's what I'm leaning, at least.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Scarcity. You get the positional scarcity locked up with 2 QBs, and then you got the tight end all locked up.
Right. Okay. All right, let's do it.
What about you, Fitz? What are you doing?
You're kind of leaning the way I was, but I'm willing to hear out another point of view here.
Personally, I'm a little worried about the Mariota Ritter scenario there. So I've got to go Harris, and I am kicking myself for not having. I passed on Najee in a couple of leagues last year where I got cute and went for other guys. One league, it was Gibson over him. It's like the straight line path to heavy volume. And I know there's some issues with that Pittsburgh offense too. Their offensive line's kind of terrible. The quarterback situation isn't great. But who else do they have to tote the rock back there, man? I mean, it's just
exactly. It's the volume theorem.
Yeah.
I know. I was going to say, if you're worried about the Atlanta quarterbacking situation, I don't know if the Trubisky-Pickett tandem is
not much better.
That much more inspiring.
Exactly.
I guess it's the argument of who gets more volume, but that's Najee Harris all day then.
Yeah, because I drafted Dak Prescott, and not to give away too much of this, but having done that, now I'm wondering if Dalton Schultz will make it back to me. But of course, Joe could have something to do with that because he'll pick before me in the 4th round, so he may just want to snipe right back. So I guess if I take Kyle Pitts now, I don't have to worry about any of that. So you know what? Let's go ahead and just do that. Pitts, that's the pick.
Kyle Pitts, I like it.
Yep. I like kind of hero RB builds anyway, so I'll just find a running back maybe the next couple rounds and then maybe hit that later. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know who I'm picking yet. It wasn't going to be Pitts because I have Kelsey, but I was hoping Cousins or Carr would slip back to me, or Cup, or Jefferson. They all went 4 in a row. Jefferson, Cousins, Cup, Carr, and I was like, oh, damn it. So I'm just getting killed in this draft, and it's only round 3, so it's not looking good right now. But anyway, let's focus on you guys. Pat, so what division are you in, and what pick do you have, and who have you taken so far?
I am in the Edinburgh division, and I've got pick 107, and I started with Joe Burrow, and I was able to stack him with Jamar Chase coming back in the 2nd, and then in the 3rd. Honestly, I probably would have taken Trey Lance if he was there. He went 2 picks in front of me, and I just kind of like a wide receiver heavy build, and I know that's kind of a contrarian thing in the Scott Fishbowl where everyone seems to fade wide receivers, but Devontae Adams was there in the 3rd, so I grabbed him, and I think I'm going to be wide receiver heavy once again this year.
I don't hate it. I mean, you're going to get some top-end talent. You'll scramble for some running backs later, but there's some guys you can find off the waiver wire later.
Contrarian's never bad for a tournament style.
Yeah, got to be different. Joe, what about you, man? We seem to be on the same page a lot with things randomly. So, where have you drafted so far?
Well, I'm in the Winterfeld division, so there you go. So. When given the choice, I chose a Game of Thrones place. I mean, why wouldn't I pick that?
Love it.
And I'm the 2 pick. So I started, Josh Allen went 1. So I took Justin Herbert 2. I want to make sure I get the quarterback or a quarterback, especially with the 3rd round reversal, which I hate. And as Pat knows, the tight end premium, which I hate. I love Scott Fish. I love the Scott Fish Bowl. I love it. He's the most beautiful human being in the world. He does this fabulous thing. He puts so much work into it. And I absolutely can't stand those two things. I think it's ridiculous. I hate those two wrinkles. Mob Harris, my favorite other person in the world, on here before, talk with you about how the wrinkles are so great. No, they're not. They're terrible. I hate the wrinkles. They're completely ridiculous. I got enough wrinkles. I'm already getting old as it is. Forget the wrinkles. This is what happens when you get me after 10 o'clock at night on the Eastern time. I've got no filter left by the end of the day. I've been talking for 8 hours. So now it's just all the truth bombs. So
we accept that.
Yes. Yeah. So get ready. So it throws the whole thing off. You don't know how the hell to draft. Nobody knows how to draft. Is a kicker worth more than Patrick Mahomes? I have no idea. This is where we're at right now at Scott Fishbowl, and it's fun. So I'm just trying to have fun. So I took Herbert. When it came back to me, Jamar Chase was there. I had a choice taking the quarterback or Chase. I took Chase. Any chance I get to take Jamar Chase, I'm taking him in the second round of any draft. I don't care what it is, what the scoring is. I'm just going to take Jamar Chase. Jefferson waited all the way to the pick right before me, which I could not even fathom. Even in this form, I just can't fathom that. And I don't know. I guess that's why the wackiness of the format sometimes it can really throw you off. So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to take good players, and I've had a lot of success in Fishbowl before, taking big quarterbacks and wide receivers and making that work. And then when it came back around, eventually to me, there was a lot of good running backs left. And I ended up going back-to-back running back, which is something, if you ask me, I never would have thought I'd do. The quarterbacks are kind of low-level guys that were left anyway. So instead of trying to chase the dregs, I took DeAndre Swift, who was still there. And as you guys are mentioning before, it's a tournament. We go big or go home. So I took Saquon Barkley. So I've got Herbert, Chase, and Swift and Barkley. That's how I started my team so far. We'll see if it's any good.
It screams upside to me.
It's either going to be first or last. It's going to be very Ricky Bobby. It's going to be fun.
I like it. That means you're gonna have your up weeks. You're gonna have your down weeks. Just make sure you remember those up weeks.
Well,
by the way,
I
just realized
Cummings this morning on the CBS show, and he's like, "Well, if my team sucks, then at the end, then that's okay because then 6 weeks into it, I don't have to, be too concerned with it anymore. Like I'll still set lineups and everything, but I'll know it's not meant to be, and I can move on in one of my other emotional investments."
Yeah. By the way, I just realized which quarterback you are referring to, and it is Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be so tempting. Because after him, I mean, he's got like top 10 upside easy, but he's also got like such a low floor.
I just draft Garoppolo a couple rounds later.
Who knows, man? Like now there's the rumors that Garoppolo's going to Seattle, like again. But man, like after him, like if you wait on that, if I wait on Lance, because I'm up, I'm looking, I mean, we all sort of like Lawrence, there's Tua, there's Justin Fields. I mean, everybody has huge, massive question marks, but everybody seems to like Lance, and I get it. The offense should be good. He's super run heavy. But man, you're passing on some stud guys in Harris and Swift and Adams and that's tough. But a lot of those guys are going to fall back too. I do know that. That's the thing.
It only gets worse. It only gets worse in the fourth. If you pass on quarterback here, then what? You're taking Matt Ryan in the fourth round instead of AJ.
Do you want to play the game, Joe?
It gets rough. Yeah,
I did last year, and I lucked into Carr in the 5th round. But I know, like, last year was the first year of those completion incompletion points, and so people weren't thinking about how decent Carr is in this format, and so he fell. And now you're seeing it. Of course, Adams being there isn't helping, but you're seeing him go much higher, and he already has. Cousins kind of the same way, sort of that safe-ish quarterback, but now the offensive coordinator and coaching changes there are helping boost his value. And Justin Jefferson's obviously a stud, so everybody likes him there. But those guys aren't falling this year. I mean, you're stuck looking at, Trevor Lawrence, who we all hope is good. We're not totally sure with him yet. Like it's sort of a mess. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting decision. I'll do it on air because I will just because I have to. But
we're going to get a live tilt.
Yes, we will. Any weird picks that you guys have seen so far? We're going to have to bounce here soon to the next segment, assuming they show up. But any weird picks you guys have seen so far in your drafts? Pat, we'll start with you.
I thought Mark Andrews 10th overall was a little bit early, but like nothing's been too crazy in our draft. It's been pretty buttoned down, I think, so far. Everything's been like pretty standard.
Hard to find value.
Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is.
Joe, what about you?
Trey Lance went in the 3rd round with the 303 pick. I think that was a little aggressive.
And that's about to be my pick, so I hope.
I think it's a little aggressive. And you know what's funny? We were just talking about the other grouping. Najee Harris went 304. So, you know, we were just talking about him in that debate.
Joe doesn't like Lance. I would have been delighted to get Lance at 306. And it's 304 in ours.
It's not a matter of that. It is one of those things though. In this kind of tournament, I get it. Like I understand why people go crazy for
he's
for the upside.
He's this year's Jalen Hurts, Joe.
Oh, I love Lance the talent, you know that, but I keep coming back to the same crappy real life football issue, which is if they can't get rid of Garoppolo, they don't want to take the cap hit, and I mean eventually they might. But you got to go to that locker room and you got to say, okay, the guy that took you to the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl 2 years ago is not going to be your quarterback. Sometimes it's a tough sell to the people in the room. And I don't know if Kyle Shanahan wants to try to sell that or if they want to let it play out. And that's going to be a real kick in the nuts to a lot of the fantasy people out there.
That is my debacle right here. It's like, and look, if we knew he had the job, I might have taken him over Stafford in the 2nd round.
Oh, that goes without saying.
But we just have no idea.
Drafting. You don't know, and this is the dice roll we all take with an early draft, which is we put. You can go one of two ways, and in this kind of thing where you're trying to like beat all these other people, well, you might as well go for broke. But in other early drafts, I think a big mistake people make is trying to put too much into projectability and not enough into what do you know. And then take shots later on because I think there's still shots later on guys that, I mean, you know, it's funny. Justin Fields is a quarterback that could absolutely do a lot of those same things. And we saw some glimpses of it. It's not going to be a great offense, but can he put up a lot of fantasy points? Probably with his legs. And, you know, he's going to last longer than Lance in this draft and probably every single league. And you know what? I'll take my shot there if I'm going to take it because at least I know he's got that job. And I think that's just a different perspective of how to approach it. And I'm not saying Lance is wrong because if you're right, it's going to be an automatic playoff spot. But Fitz, you went pretty deep into the playoffs last year in this, didn't you? I feel like you did last year.
Conference finals.
Yeah, I went into the playoffs, but I think you got further than I did. You made it a whole extra round or two or whatever the heck it was. So listen to Fitz. Don't listen to me. He's smarter.
I had a phenomenal regular season, number 3 overall, and then got demolished in the playoffs. There was just nothing I could do.
Well, the playoffs were rough last year.
Yes, they were. Thank you. Somebody else acknowledges that. But anyway, we do have to jump into our next crew here and finish the show out. I want to thank you guys for coming on. But real quick, before we do that, let's let you guys have a second. And obviously, you got fans. Let you guys know where they can find you and all that stuff. Pat, we'll start with you.
Yeah, well, we're at Fantasy Pros, and we've got a lot of good stuff there, including our draft kit that is now up and complete and has everything you need. And people can find me on Twitter at Fitz_FF and catch me every week on the Fitz on Fantasy podcast and the Fantasy Pros Dynasty podcast.
Good stuff. By the way, I need one of those hats. I don't know how to get it, but that is great.
We'll get you hooked up, Joe.
I like it. Joe, what about you, man?
Me? Oh, I don't know.
You might be everywhere.
Pat's trying to avoid me. I think it's way easier. Yes, you can find me, of course, working with Pat as much as possible because I love Pat and over at Fantasy Pros Podcast. We're kicking butt, man. We got so many shows and so many videos coming at you on the YouTube channel, so check that out. And also, just like you're doing good stuff here for MS, and we're trying to do stuff at the Black Book too. So this week, every Black Book you buy a Black Book, $1 goes to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We did this last year, the entire first week of Scott Fishbowl, so we're doing it again. So if you haven't bought one yet, this is a great week to do it. Help the kids, help your fantasy season, and good work here, Joe, putting this all together with so many people. Well done, sir.
Thank you. And I will attest, it is a fantastic book. I have read it many times.
Thanks.
So,
see, you're so
all right,
smart.
Des, What do you got going on? I know you're not like super fantasy guy, but what you?
Yeah, I'm a generalist sports writer for a little mom and pop operation you might have heard of called WashingtonPost.com. Just find us out there, Google us. May take a little effort, but I dabble in the fantasy waters. We haven't rolled out our content just yet. Usually we do that around early August, and a lot of the heavy lifting is done by my excellent colleague Neil Greenberg. He's more the stats guy, but I do a lot of rankings, tiers. We'll put it all out there. But in the meantime, if there's a sports topic du jour, I'm probably on it. So check with me on all that.
Nice, love it. So local guy to meet, Washington Post. I love it. I grew up with it in the area. So happy to have you guys on. Thank you again. And if you guys can donate, please. If not, cool. Just thanks for being here. We appreciate it for sure.
And we definitely enjoy your company.
And good luck this season to everybody. I'm sure we'll talk to you again.
Thanks everybody. Good to see you.
All right. So, we're at the 950 mark now on it. I want to break 1,000 on the show, and then we'll work on the rest later. But hopefully people can donate. But let's bring in the next round here. I know we're a few minutes late, so I appreciate them just hanging out here. But we'll start off here with Rudy Gamble from Razzball. What's going on, man? Whoa. Got the blurred. Oh, you are slightly muted. I'm not sure what's going on. Rudy, unmute your mic. Oh, no, other way around. All right, we'll go to Ryan and let you figure this out. Ryan Hallam from Fantasy Alarm, as he's donning the hat. I love it. What's going on tonight, man?
Not much, guys. Hope you can hear me. Everything's good. Yep. Had a good first day, and looking forward to the rest of the draft.
Absolutely, man. And let's bring in our last but not least, I suppose we'll bring him in. AJ,
he's used to being late.
I know. What's up, man? I only did you guys late because of AJ's,
come on.
And he's always late for our show, so I had to make him late. This is just you guys.
But for the record, I did ask if you wanted a co-host for the whole thing, and I would have made it work. But I see that Mike took care of it.
You would have never made it at 8:30. Anyway,
yes, I would have. I was listening. So,
all right, good stuff. I'm just all right.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
What is going on tonight, guys? So hopefully, Rudy, your mic is working because I want to start with you. What is your division? What draft and who have you picked so far? I think
he's muted on.
Yeah, you're muted on StreamYard too.
It says your mic isn't connected.
Yeah, when I try to that would do it.
There it is.
There it is.
Hear me now?
Yes. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, I'm in the Zootopia draft. I don't know exactly which division it is. I'm going to check live.
Zootopia is some sort of it's a Pixar movie or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So far I had the fourth pick. Was hoping for a quarterback, as most do in this thing, but the three I liked went. So I have a Jonathan Taylor and Kirk Cousins start. Not what I drew up. But
Cousins is gonna be good in this division in this year. I think does feel rich to go second round for him, but
it's
gonna
happen. No, I'm with you. And when you're picking pick 4, if you don't take a quarterback on that second pick, and you want to get with a wide receiver, that third round reversal hits. So it's one where it's really tough to come out of this draft out of the first 2 rounds without a quarterback.
It is, especially if you're early.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. What division are you in, and what pick, and who have you taken so far?
I'm in King's Landing, Game of Thrones, and I had the 10th pick because of the third round reversal. I picked a late pick, so I started with Tom Brady. I came back with Dak Prescott, and then my third pick was Joe Mixon. So that's where I'm sitting right now.
All right, that's a solid start. You are a 10 also. You are not in the 10 spot chat that we got going on. on Twitter. It's lively. it doesn't shut up. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. I mean, I muted it.
Division. I wasn't in my division chat until a couple days ago. I was like, hey, someone invite me in.
No, it's full now because apparently Twitter only allows 75 people, but somebody left. So a couple of people have left to like let new people in. I mean, it's a crazy. Oh, there's actually a Ryan Haddow from your old. That was in it.
Us old guys aren't really group chat people, I don't think. So if there's 75 people in there, I'm happy to bow out.
I don't
know.
I don't contribute much. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm happy to like watch all the.
Joe's
all
just
the
there to scour the information.
Yeah. Being a little spy, it's fine. AJ, where are you drafting at, and who have you drafted?
Oh man, I've been all over the place. I started as a 5 spot, then jumped out of that division into a new one, took over the 1, and then somebody left, so I moved back to the 6, and that's where I am. I'm in the Wilmington division. Look, variety is the spice of life, so whatever. Wilmington, Delaware in Division 1, and my first pick almost had Herbert fall to me, but I went a little off kilter and went with the hometown pick and took Hurts over Dak, Burrow, Murray, Kelsey, Lamar, Brady, everybody basically. So we'll see how that works. And then on the turn, I kind of got sniped. 2 picks before me, Carr and Cousins went, so I settled on Stafford, who was fine with me. And then I took Mixon as well on the 3rd round reverse. And
I've heard Hurts go all over. I'm sorry if you're not done.
No, I'm good. Yeah, he is.
I've seen Hurts go like 5. I've seen him go like 2-7. Like he's like one guy that to me is what
Yeah.
really? Holy
He went 1-1 in one draft.
Wow.
I'm trying to think.
The wild card in this.
We have the tweet about it. He almost fell to me in the beginning of the 2nd round, and the guy who was just on from Washington Post sniped me on him, and I was so pissed. I was like, God. Yeah. So then he wanted to come on just to laugh at me, which is hilarious, but it's fine.
I like it.
There's legit the main reason why he wanted to come on, and he told me that. It's fine, and he's still sitting in the background just to hear me say that again. Yeah, and I'm sitting here trying to make my pick because he took his next one, and I'm staring at Trey Lance as my 2nd quarterback. My other one is Matt Stafford. My only other pick is Kelsey, or I could go with like a Najee Harris or a Swift, or the big 3 receivers win unless you guys want to throw Adams in that. I'm not sure I'm buying that. So I kind of think I'm down to like a Harris or a Lance. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Because I literally don't know which way to go. Yeah, sure, Ryan, go.
I mean, I'm a 49er fan, but that's not really has anything to do with what I'm about to say. But I was listening as Joe PCP was talking about before, and I completely agree with everything he says. Like, if they don't trade Garoppolo, he's gonna be the starter. I know they trade up to 3, but in Joe's exact words, he was a quarter away from the Super Bowl last year. If he's still on the team, which he might not be, they keep saying they're going to trade him. They're not even being quiet about it. But if he's not traded, I honestly think he's the week 1 starter. Will he be the week 10 starter? Maybe not. But I almost guarantee you, if he's on the team, he's starting week 1.
Yeah, it's tough. It's just after that, man, the quarterbacks get rough, but I might just have to suck it up and figure it out. I don't know. Rudy, you got any thoughts on that?
I mean, Trey Lance, it is the scare one. To me, that's the big swinging pick to make. I'm looking at him in the 3rd round, and I missed what Joe was saying. I think I got caught at the end, but was he basically comparing Lance with like Fields at all?
No, I would have Stafford and Lance.
Oh no, totally with Stafford. It's basically looking at Trey Lance. You've got that double risk and saying like, I mean, Justin Fields doesn't have the offensive coordinator. He doesn't have potentially the wide receiver talent. But that's what you're looking at. Is it? Do you want to take the risk on Lance? I'm not sure. Like I'm deathly afraid if he's available in the 3rd round. How do you knowing he could be a 1st round talent? There's no doubt with that wide zone that he couldn't run for 7 to 10 touchdowns, and they'll throw some. So, but I could see every outcome with Lance, from not playing to 20 interceptions.
I mean, it's a 3,000 person tournament.
Yes.
Do you shoot for broke or just be like,
yeah,
I just want to be good, so I can be like, I was okay this past year. We're gonna
Yeah,
go for
but what's
broke
that
and
gonna
just try to
get
win
you?
it.
See, I don't think you necessarily have to go for broke on every pick. It does seem like you want to have one quarterback with variance. So if it's not Trey Lance, maybe it's like a Fields, but to have like, let's just say
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
paired it
take
with
both.
Matt Ryan. I mean, like as I have Cousins whose only variance is maybe on his off the cuff remarks, and his medical advice, but yeah. So like I'm like now I have to take now I have to take a fun one.
I mean, I also
gotta-
don't think it's variance. Like, it's not like he's going in the 20th round in every other draft and you're picking him in the 3rd round. That's where he's going. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
whether he hits for you or not. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure that's like
it's tough. I'm
sure,
so
I don't think that's differentiating yourself in this draft.
I just think.
I mean, take him. I hope he's awesome. But
I mean, you're a Niners fan, right?
Oh, big time. Here's what.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I
was gonna say.
Niners fan there is. I hope to God he's awesome, but I'm not risk. It's just too much risk. It's just too much. I mean, look at. There's so many other quarterbacks like going around when he's going that
So you're not
you
Jay
aren't
Harris.
saying, is he even going to start? Like Rudy said, there's 14 different outcomes for this guy. There's other guys going around him that maybe there's 3. Maybe I'm conservative.
So the other guys going around.
gonna
So here's what I'm left with. If you don't take a Lance, here's what we're left with. And look, I guarantee you, I'm not the only one who's going to get into this position that's got fish. So we're going to talk about it. Trey Lance. Then after him, it's Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Deshaun Watson, God forbid, Zach Wilson, Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan. That's what you're left with, and then everybody else, obviously. So, like, do I go with the massive upside of Trey Lance as my second quarterback, or do I wait and hope one of those other guys is like just half decent and take the Najee Harris and just pray that Kenny Pickett and Trubisky aren't just complete train wrecks and ruin Najee Harris?
I mean, it's not like, they were throwing the ball all over the place last year, and I still think it's going to be checked down a million times to Harris, but I don't think there's you have to hope that Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he was like a generational pick last year, and, Urban Meyer just completely tanked the entire team. I think Tua, when he came out of college, was an amazing prospect, the best we've ever seen, and had no weapons. Okay, so now he's got a little bit more around him now, and a creative offensive coordinator. I mean, I feel comfortable with Najee Harris and one of those two guys and swinging for the fence for the guy who might not start. And I'm talking
terrifying.
Sorry.
Yeah, I get it.
Right.
I get it.
It is one of those things where it is. Yeah, I think you feel like
you
you're
guys
on a
have
ledge with
talked me off of the Lance ledge, and I
And
would
now
be
I'm
drafting
talked
Najee
out of
Harris.
it. Yeah, and I would say it's not just Tua got a little bit more. I mean,
right?
But see, like, who knows at this point? So this is
Waddle and Tyreek Hill is probably a dream thing for Tua, because they could both get open immediately. He doesn't have to throw it down because he can only throw it 30 yards, as we know. So but they can get.
I mean, come on, he had that tweet where it was like rockets, right? And he threw it, but he'll had to stop for 10 yards. Who knows?
Right. So Tua is a really interesting one for me. He's not going to run though. I mean, Lawrence might.
He won't come back to me.
Run. Yeah. Well,
this is the three. This is the 2-3 reversal. So like I'm 3-3.
Okay.
Those guys aren't coming back to me. So legit, honestly, if I miss on Lance, I'm probably looking at like Matt Ryan at best. That's a best.
And you have Stafford. That is a really. That's pretty.
Or like a Jameis Winston, I could wait a couple more rounds on possibly.
Yeah.
That's where it's like that's where it's tough with the super flex. It is.
Wait, Daniel Jones isn't taken yet, is he?
No,
No,
I didn't
honestly,
think that crazy going.
I'm with Rudy on that. I was going to mention him and say, is if he's not, you're totally forgetting about him. Yes, we've seen what he's been, but I mean, this is
I
a
think
different
Rudy
year.
was joking because he's the Giants fan.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm on board with it. I think if you're gonna wait, then
right.
I think he's got upside.
Right. I think the way to think of it is that no one's taken a third quarterback in the first 4 rounds.
Right.
So you've got that little bit of a buffer.
Grid at least. So we've got 1, 2.
But
yeah, so we probably got 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's going to be most likely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more quarterbacks that are picked before my next quarterback. Most likely. Because those are the other teams that don't have 2. So there could obviously potentially 8 more.
I've got.
So at that point, you're looking at like Winston, which I don't hate. That's
I have
around
2 teams that don't have 1 quarterback yet.
Wow.
And we're at the 4-4.
Wow.
So Dez just chilling in the background, just waiting for me to make my pick.
It will
so that he
continue.
can plan who he's going to take.
Until
Because he
the
knows
fifth
if
round.
I don't take a quarterback now, I'm taking one next. So
yeah,
my gut has said all along to take Harris. I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it. Najee Harris, lock it in.
So
Najee Harris.
So our 1-1 and our 1-4,
love it.
Are the 2 teams, but I mean they're stacked. Otherwise, McCaffrey, Najee, Debo, and Lamb, and then Taylor, Chase, Jones, and Chubb.
I mean, what's everyone's thoughts on the Superflex? Like, I like to have a decent third. Like, I don't want to have to play some garbage quarterback as my third. Like, so do you guys? Does everyone here just like 2 and I'm good, or what? If we could like have a little round table.
Well, you can only play 2.
Right, but there's off weeks, there's injuries. I mean,
right. Oh no, totally. I mean, I like to have 3. I think you're looking at, you want to have a locked in QB1, and it's a matter of whether you're going really good QB2 and then a QB3 who's like maybe like QB 32 overall, or but if you go cheap on your second one, I feel like you just go more expensive on your third.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like Mac Jones, and I've seen a tweet where he goes all over the place, but like Davis Mills or Daniel Jones to me is a 3. Like
I would love to get a Davis Mills late. For sure.
That's what I'm talking.
I did not get a good third quarterback last year. I kind of lucked into my third. So I took Brady and Carr, and then ended up, I guess, kind of falling into a third, but I never actually used him as a quarterback. Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it's like
I just never used him as a quarterback.
The only person
so bad.
that fits that bill.
So I used him once and was like, never again.
And it was the week that he gained the eligibility that everybody was like, "What the?"
Yeah.
But I couldn't use him at tight end because I had Darren Waller. So it's like, okay, well, whatever. So it was kind of a bad pick, but that's where my third quarterback went. It was sort of like massive upside pick. This year, I don't know what I will do. Like, I want to build the best team. I'm not trying to like just draft. I'm kind of with Rudy. Like, I'm not going to chase that third quarterback just because everybody else will.
Yeah, I think.
Like, what about you, man?
I'm actually up right now, so I've got to look at some players here.
Oh, you're up too.
I'm up, yeah.
Thanks. I mean, idealistically, the safe play is to go 3 quarterbacks, but it kind of goes on how your draft is going to play out, because that's the one thing we do know is a constant in Scott Fishbowl. No draft's the same. So that's my opinion. Obviously, I'm at least going to get 2. I want to start 2. That's the goal, because if we're going for most accumulative points, you're going to get the most accumulative points by starting 2 quarterbacks in those 2 spots. That's just how it works. But if the draft doesn't work out to where you can get a third quarterback, I don't want to go reach for a Daniel Jones to make sure I have that backup. I would rather go and get some value. Maybe maybe reach for a little bit more for the stars, in a wide receiver later those rounds instead of going and handcuffing yourself to a third quarterback, because then you're putting yourself in almost in a situation kind of like with what Joe. You have him, you have the ability to start him, but do you really want to? And at that point, he's just taking up a spot on your roster.
Yeah, Daniel Jones will literally never start except for the bye weeks.
Exactly. That's
unless
it.
your quarterbacks get hurt. So that's why I never did it, because Daniel Jones is going to go by what round?
Contract year.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
Show me the money. But that's how I got. I mean, the goal is to go 3 if the draft plays out that way. But if the draft doesn't play out that way, I'm fine, on a bye week or, where my quarterback may be injured for a couple of weeks, sliding in a running back or a wide receiver that I know is at least going to give me a decent output rather than trying to swing for the fences on a Mariota.
Yeah, that's a pretty big swing.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to do it.
There's
That's
certainly,
true.
I think those last couple quarterbacks, the Mariota, the Pittsburgh, whatever it's Trubisky or Pickett. Yeah, those no one's jumping at. The question's the Daniel Jones, the Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
That, assuming they don't go in the first 24, it's it's tempting, but you are using a spot that, was probably your WR2 or it could be your TE1. It's a tough one to predict.
It's really hard when you're losing out on those tiers late with the quarterbacks, because we had I can't remember who exactly said it, but we had someone on earlier saying, Zach Wilson, he's a great choice for the that quarterback range. How many times did he finish negative points and actually hurt you more than help you last year? Yeah. And that's what I'm more afraid of, is those Carson Wentz where he's going to have his spike weeks, but then you're going to get him when he gets a -5 week.
Against
is there any? I didn't check the point system. Is there any points for boning your mom's friend this year?
There should be. There's dude points there. I don't know about anything else, but
swagger points maybe.
Yeah, there should be. We got to talk to Scott about that for next year.
Yeah,
we've already got stiff arm points in, but that's a different level, man.
Yeah, if a tweet comes out in the middle of the SFB draft for a player that goes above and beyond, then what do we get?
My only other reasoning for that third quarterback, and every point you guys are making is correct and valid and everything. There's going to, and the waiver wire is tough in this league. There's no doubt about it. But picking up a quarterback off the waiver wire and having someone that can be startable if one of your guys goes down is a little bit tougher than replacing that third wide receiver or your third running back, where you can pick up some guys like Elijah Mitchell last year. Everyone picked him up in the first week, and then he was a stud, and some other guys. So I just feel like some of those other positions are a little bit easier to plug and play. And there's always a quarterback or two, who does come in and off an injury and plays pretty well. But I feel like quarterback is I like to be rock solid.
You
the
will
highest scoring position.
You will also need to empty the bank for that quarterback more often than not. Even if it's just like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but Mike is right.
Gone.
It's tough. It's just finding out. Again, I'm not saying I want to reach. I'm not taking my third quarterback in the 6th round, but I don't want my third to be a pile of garbage. I don't want Drew Lock as my third. I want someone a little more reliable.
Yeah, I think unfortunately I'm already kind of in that boat.
Yes, you are. Because you clearly didn't learn anything from last year by taking a tight end first.
I was number 3 overall at the end of the season. Screw you. Screw COVID for ruining my playoffs.
Okay, blame
you're not
somebody
first
else.
or last, Joe.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think that just looking at the quarterback situation with my league specifically, it's really everywhere though. Everybody's jumping on board this year with it. And to me, it seems like the mocks actually kind of played out correctly as far as the first 3 rounds. It was just quarterback, maybe a running back, quarterback. So that was what was kind of surprising to see for me, because usually the mocks are just people wanting to try different things and this and that and see what happens, which I'm sure it still is this year, but it's been crazy. There's been sniping left and right.
Feel like though, like I know what you're saying. Like you saw the mocks, and it was like 7 or 8 quarterbacks, like in the first 10, 12 picks, and I was like, that's not really gonna happen, is it? And it just legit did. And like it didn't matter. Like everybody was. That's what was gonna happen this year. It just was the order was slightly different, or like it. It is what it's like. Hurts is the perfect example. We've seen him go,
everywhere.
First, 5th, 8th, 15th. It's kind of crazy. So I am going to fill in my board here. I just forgot. I forgot I had this, but want to let you guys go. Obviously I've kept you guys a little longer than you expected. I know we started a little late, but Rudy, real quick before we go, like, is there any one pick in your draft that's just been sort of like, wow, like what's going on here? I always like to ask this question because they're out there.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at going Cooper Kupp at 6. I thought was not that I didn't have him projected close there, but that was. He could have gotten the 5th, or
just
they
haven't
got
seen
the 5th
him go
quarterback.
Anywhere close to that high. Receivers have been falling, so yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah, I went Jonathan Taylor at 4, and I'm not saying that was what I wanted to do, but I couldn't justify. I just didn't love anyone as QB4. But if I picked that, but basically I would have probably went quarterback with almost every other pick in that round. So Kupp I thought was a little early.
We're seeing Kupp go like the end of the second round. So
no, and we had Austin Eckler at 1-9.
Wow, we did too. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that,
yeah, I snagged him at the 207.
Right? Yeah. So that I would have thought
Eckler went 1-9 for me too.
Wow, he went 206 in mine.
He went.
That one was shocking to me. I thought for sure.
In ours.
I think that would have changed the draft drastically for us. Like, you think at 1-9, maybe Dak Kelsey. Or CMC, or Kelsey. Like, I would have taken Kelsey then at 10. So like everything would have completely changed if Eckler hadn't gone at 9. But yeah, I was shocked at that one too. Ryan, what about you, man?
I really not too many. Most of my guys and most of my has been pretty good. I would say if I had to call it surprise, I would say Cousins at 112. He went in front of Dak. He went in front of Rodgers. He went in front of Stafford. So like I think he's going to have a good season, but I think he went in front of several quarterbacks that I would have taken before Kirk Cousins.
Did they pair him with Chase?
They paired him with Jefferson at a turn.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
And that has to be that had to be it.
I don't know if that's just because you get the double points. I'd rather get more points from Matthew Stafford or so than Justin Jefferson than hit the double. But yeah, I'm sure that was the strategy. But I mean, to me, it's smarter to take the quarterback is going to score more points rather than getting double points from a score that's going to happen 12 times a year. I mean, Brady threw 40 touchdowns last year and 5,000 yards. I'm taking him before Kirk Cousins.
Fair enough. No, completely. The Cousins and Carr love has gone bonkers in some divisions. I do know. I love Cousins this year, and I even like Carr more than I did last year, even though he kind of burned me a little bit last year, but. And AJ, you too, man. I think we both had him and Waller stacks, right? And both kind of didn't work out the way we were hoping, but it still was okay. Like it just.
But you finished third,
should be
so
better.
I mean, there's that.
Shut up, AJ. So AJ's out. No. AJ, what's the is there any pick in your division that's been sort of just kind of like whatever, like you're not really sure what's going on here?
Not really. I mean, like I can justify all of them. I was a little surprised to see CMC go 1 overall, but
whoa.
I mean, I
have seen that.
hate it. Probably because I've just been burned by him so much over the last 3 years. So
Just you, though.
He's dead to me. Oh yeah, just me. I'm the only one. But yeah, I mean, seeing Eckler and Harris fall to the end of the second was a bit of a shock too. I figured somebody would have jumped a little earlier to get those guys. But
Harris went the end of the second of mine too, and Derrick Henry went 302. So like I was 1 pick away from him. So everybody's going quarterback. Everyone's going quarterback, and you can pick up the pieces after.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm legit in like this random Twitter thread now. Jonathan Taylor fell to somebody at 111.
Wow.
That seems really late.
I mean, I think Rudy nailed it right at 104. That to me seems like the perfect place to take him.
Yeah, because it's a teardrop once you get past those 3 QBs. Then you want to take that solid, going to be the RB1 if everything plays out. So I agree with that. 104, 105 is kind of that spot. I mean, you can get a little cute, maybe go the teardrop with the QB in there, maybe like go a Kyler Murray or a Lamar Jackson, maybe just because of the rushing upside. But other than that, Jonathan Taylor's, I think, like you said, right at that 104, 105
Actually,
spot. Sweet spot.
the latest Jonathan Taylor is going is 13.
Wow.
Travis Kelce, the latest he's going is 22. That's just disgusting. Christian McCaffrey, 21. Why do some of these drafts have this happen? Why can't I be in these drafts?
I know.
This is not fair.
I at least got in one last year. I got like Josh Allen at 104, which was fine, but Herbert fell to me in the second round.
Wow.
Like I bet I was probably the latest of any SFB draft. And yeah, the team did good. I mean, like, but yes, and I will say in this format, when you have 2 quarterbacks that you like, oh, it's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the previous year I think
that is nice.
I know. The previous year I had the opposite. It's like, so I'm sweating.
Well, this year I feel like we're gonna see so many crazy things because the divisions are so, like, just they're not aligned, right? If not the same, like the all analyst drafts are going to be better than the all fan drafts, but like analysts tend to kind of draft one way and fans tend to draft another way. So when you mix them all together and kind of make it even for everybody, it all sort of ends up balancing out in the long run for the most part. But this year we've got a lot of like heavy analyst drafts, heavy fan drafts, because it's all like localized, and that's awesome. Like I love our Silver Spring draft. I've got the board back here with my pick. Nobody can read it, but we've all been talking. Like there's guys that I didn't realize even lived in the area that I've been talking to. So that's what this really is all about. The Scott Fishbowl tournament is all about, like meeting new people and donating and things like that. But I'm looking at like other drafts in my conference where it's like I've got 10 analysts and 2 fans, and then there's other divisions that are the complete inverse of that, and I'm like, oh wait, what? And honestly, the 2 analysts are like one radio show dude and like another guy who I'd never heard of him, and I looked him up. He had like 40 Twitter followers, and I'm like, okay, like it doesn't matter, but it just. So it's almost like 12 fans in that draft, and I'm like, that it's just going to be crazy what we see this year, even more so than other years. But that's what Scott Fish is all about.
I know. I was going to say, is Josh ADHD doing the ADP tracker this year?
Yeah, that's where I'm looking up some of those values from right now. Where
because I kind of wish he wasn't.
I kind of wish he wasn't either, only because like LA hasn't drafted yet. Right.
Oh wow! Yeah,
they have their live draft this weekend.
Yep.
And so like they're gonna be able to just like absorb all of this.
Yeah.
And we actually randomly had Bob Harris, Sam Holt, and of course Matt Walsh, all in the LA draft. Matt Walsh is running the LA draft, and I even told Matt, I was like, "What are you gonna like? Are you just gonna like absorb all this data?" He goes, I didn't even think of that. And I'm like, damn it.
But
I am now.
As we said, you never know in these drafts. Like, this is the most unpredictable draft you'll do all year. I mean, to an extent. Like I said, mine and it sounds like AJ's are both like fairly predictable by ADP. Like, I stretched to say Kirk Cousins was early. Like, it wasn't that early. Like, that was, but damn, like, you see some wild stuff in these drafts.
You do. You absolutely do. And then like with them, like they have to draft and start a kicker because they're on sleeper.
Oh, okay.
But the kicker scoring changed to kind of help balance that out. So like it's all, it's slightly different this year, and you don't get those like half point bonus for first down touchdowns this year, because sleeper couldn't do it. So
sleeper already does. Sleeper doesn't
MFL
do it.
couldn't do it. Sleeper can't. So they had to remove it off of MFL. You can't get that like half point bonus for first downs with touchdowns this year. So there's slight nuances this year that like people aren't truly paying attention to as much as I've noticed in the past. But like I'll give credit to my 10 spot chat, dude. They are all over it. They are
all 90 of them.
Yeah. Yes. As much as I wasn't like. I've stopped paying attention, but in the beginning when there was only like 30 of us and they were all spitting out all the information, I'm like, damn, I didn't even pay attention to that myself. Thanks. It's pretty great. I'll tell you, the past champion, he was all over it, man. So, all right, guys. Well, let's finish things up here. Thank you for hanging out and just talking with me through the ranting and making my pick. But Rudy, let everybody know where they can find you this year and what you guys got going on at Razzball.
Yep. Twitter, it's just at Rudy Gamble. I'm at Razzball, and I run all the projections there. There's free projections and depth charts up there right now for season long, but the daily or the weekly projections, those are subscription. They'll be up. Obviously, I actually have them. They're already up right now. If you really wanted to look at them,
Good stuff, man. Definitely check that out. Razzball's a great site. Ryan, what do you guys got going on at FA this year?
I also run the projections at Fantasy Alarm. Our season long ones up. Our week one are not up yet. But our draft guide is free for the first time ever. So Howard Bender, John Mpemba, Andrew Cooper, Kevin Tompkins, Britt Flynn, like all of our whole staff, like we put out a great draft guide. We call it the living draft guide. So when news breaks, it's not like a magazine that's, outdated. Articles are taken down and redone with, injuries and things like that. So the Fantasy Alarm NFL draft guide is free. So I invite you to check it out. There's new articles going up all the time. I actually don't have any in there, which is fine because they're all better than me at that. So check that out. You can go to find me on Twitter at Fighting Champs, as it says down there, for nonsense and fantasy reality TV games and all kinds of wacko stuff that I do.
Best polls on Twitter ever, man. I love it.
Yes.
I haven't done one in a while. I got to get back.
I know. I'm missing out, man. I love it.
I went on vacation and I just haven't gotten back into it yet.
That's all good, man.
I got
it's
one up here.
We got it. We got it. All right, AJ, you got anything going on? I don't know.
No. Fantasy 6-pack hour weekly comedy act. I don't know.
Comedy act. Yeah, I love it. All right, guys.
The guy
Rudy
that makes fun of
Ryan,
Joe.
Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for hanging out long with us. Good luck this season, and thank you for coming on. Donate if you can.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Good luck in your draft.
Thank you, guys. See
you
ya.
guys.
All right, AJ. You're just gonna hang out with us for a half second, but thank you.
Yeah,
for
I need
being
to.
here. I did see your donation. You pushed us to $11.50. So
way to go, Scott. Stealing my thunder. I was trying to take the 1,000 as I was logging
yeah,
on.
you totally
and I was like,
did.
Damn it, my pass.
You totally
my
did, man.
PayPal thing was like acting up. Like, where is the damn link?
That was pretty phenomenal. So all right, Mike, you messaged me and said you have a player that got drafted early. Since we've asked everybody else this, who's the player that got drafted early in yours?
The one that got drafted early in mine that really kind of like threw me off for a loop was Dalton Schultz, tight end 4 after Kelsey, Andrews, and Pitts. So before Kittle and Darren Waller.
Okay.
I feel like the people are all over that, dude, especially if it's the Dak Schultz stack. Was it?
Well, it was Sam Wallace, and no, he does
shit,
not.
Dude. I'm not
he
gonna
does.
lie.
He does know his shit. But no, he got Kirk Cousins in the second round, and then Lamar Jackson in the first. So there's no stack there.
All right. I mean, look, I get it.
I like Schultz this year.
I like him, but I don't know. I mean, I guess without Amari Cooper, you're thinking Schultz should see an uptick, maybe. But I mean, he saw, what was it? I don't know. We were talking about this in the team preview show. Like, and I don't have the stats up now, but what was it?
No,
like,
we're
it was
talking
something
about,
crazy, like
talking
90
about
targets last year. Like, I don't know if he'll
when we were
see
talking
more
about
than
Cooper,
that.
yeah,
104.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna see more than that this year. So, like, you're probably already seeing what his ceiling is, and I mean, you're paying for it. That's fine. Tight end premium league, people want to do it.
Yeah,
That's. I mean, I'm not taking a crap on it or anything. It's just that's
but it
probably the
is
one
kind
thing
of
that I saw that.
eye-opening.
Yeah, that was.
I think
eye-opening.
for me, the only eye-opening pick, and I get it, people love him, and some people don't, but Barkley went 208 in my draft, ahead of Derrick Henry, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Cooper Kupp, Derek Carr, Najee Harris.
Wow.
I don't know about that one.
That one's questionable. Yeah,
Barkley going at like just the running backs alone, Henry and Harris. No.
Yeah. I mean,
it will be very interesting to see what's going to happen here in my draft. I think we're on the sleeper timer for the night. But regardless, it will be interesting to see what quarterback comes back to me. I will 100% need to take a quarterback in the next 2 rounds. On the next turn, the 4 or 5 turn, I'm almost 100% guaranteed to take a quarterback. Unless something crazy happens and I'm stuck with like Marcus Mariota, and then I'm just going to say, screw it. I might not be starting super flexing a quarterback this year. I mean, that's just that's the only way I see myself not taking a second quarterback.
Yeah, it's not going to kill you to not super flex a guy if you have enough talent elsewhere. You can
did it a
plug
few times
in.
last year when injuries hit.
I
had to. I just sucked it up and just found it to work.
Yeah,
So.
I got hit hard. I think it was like might have been week 7 last year.
And let's not mention 2020, right?
No, it was
where like your entire first 6 picks were hurt. That was abysmal.
That was terrible.
Nothing you can do about that, man. That just kind of sucks. But anyway, we do need to close out here. It is 11:30. I want to thank you everybody for watching and donating. We are at $1,150. I'm still trying to hit 2,000, so I'm gonna leave this open for quite some time. We hit 1,500 last year, so I'm gonna keep pumping this up on Twitter. Hopefully you guys keep coming with it. But all of this money that you see on the GoFundMe link will 100% go to the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Again, something that has affected my life, unfortunately, since 2013. So hopefully we can find a cure for this. I've been lucky with medication, but I know it's not going to last forever. So we need to find a cure. But have fun and Scott Fish, and hopefully you can donate. And good night, everyone.